Dragon Ball Z Part 1, The Demon and the Golden Monkey. Last time on Dragon Ball. The 22nd World Martial Arts Tournament concluded, with the final competitors being Son Goku and Tien Shinhan, the student of Master Roshi's rival, Master Shun. It was a hard-fought battle, but in the end, it was Tien Shinhan, who during the bout forsook his teacher's desire for vengeance, who walked away champion. In spite of the battle, the sportsmanship shown between the two forged a new respect, and now, a new chapter in their lives begins. Age 753, May 7th. Wow. Goku, if you hadn't been hit by that truck, Krillin says to Goku, who was just finishing taking a huge drink of water. That's okay, I sure had fun, Goku says, noticing his ripped GI. You go through clothes faster than food, Krillin says. Here, you can wear mine. As Goku changes in public view, to his surprise, Tien and Kairatsu approach him. Goku, listen, Tien says, walking forward and producing a small piece of paper. I've been thinking about it, and there's something I want you to have. Krillin recognizes it immediately. Tien, that's your prize money, isn't it? It's no big deal, Tien says. I just think you should take half. We both know if you hadn't hit that truck, you would have won. You are stronger. No thanks, Goku says. I appreciate the offer, but I wouldn't know what to spend it on anyway. Yeah, but Tien begins, only to have Master Roshi approach, chuckling. Tien, it's true, Roshi says, but luck and strength go hand in hand. You shouldn't let it discount your achievement. As Roshi finishes, Yamcha, Launch, Bulma, Oolong, and Turtle all approach, with Yamcha, on crutches from his injury at Tien's hands, approaching his former opponent. Tien refuses to make eye contact. You fought well, Yamcha says. Thank you. I'm sorry about your leg, Tien says. I did a lot of terrible thing. Bones heal, Yamcha says, but at the next tournament, I expect a rematch, got it? Yamcha says. Tien smiles at Yamcha. Of course. But until then, Roshi says, where will you go? 3 years is a long time. You're welcome at the Kame house, but you have to put up with Launch's cooking. I heard that. Launch says, I can yell you like me, Tien. Everyone's taken aback by this revelation, but Launch continues. If you come to Roshi's island, I'll be sure to take care of you for good. I appreciate the offer. Unfortunately, even though Kairatsu and I went against Master Shun, we're still students of the Crane School. I don't think we're allowed to switch. We'll find a home, somewhere. I won't cook, Launch yells. That's tempting, but he's made up his mind. Launch, Roshi says. But anyway, why don't we all at least sample the local cuisine? One condition, Tien says, I pay. Krillin snickers and looks at Goku. Well, looks like you found a way to spend that prize money after all. The gang heads over to the best restaurant on the island, but as they enter, Goku has a sudden realization. Wait, I forgot about Grandpa's Dragon Ball and my power pole. I left them back at the stadium. I'll be right back. I know where they are, Krillin says. You stay here and have fun. No, I should go. I was the one who forgot, Goku says. Don't worry, I'll be right back, Krillin yells, running off. Thanks, Krillin, Goku says, but as he's about to enter the restaurant, an unsettling feeling falls over him. Inside, nearly everyone chows down, while Goku only sits and stares at his food. What's wrong? Tien asks, sensing something bothering the young boy. Goku only shakes his head and thinks, everyone looking at Goku with concern, but then he hears something faint. The voice of his best friend, screaming in agony. Goku! Krillin! Goku yells, heading out and running at full speed to the stadium. He enters and screams at the sight he sees. Krillin and the tournament announcer, laid out. Krillin, no. Goku runs over and shakes his friend. Krillin, I'm here. Wake up. It was a monster, the announcer says. It took a little ball and the list of names for the tournament. It got away. Krillin, Goku says, but then he realizes the sad truth. He's gone. He's gone. It should have been me. Goku puts his friend down and begins crying and shaking. Krillin, why? Why did he have to die? Krillin, no? Goku raises his head and lets out a completely primal scream, one filled with raw anger and suffering, clenching his fists so hard that blood begins to flow from the palms of his hand. The entire surrounding area begins to shake. Goku grabs his head, still yelling in pain. Inside the restaurant, everyone is caught by surprise. Is it an earthquake? Oolong yells, running under the table. No, it's Goku. Tien yells, everyone, come on. Everyone runs out and rushes to the stadium, and stop in shock as they watch Goku scream in agony. What's going on? Yamcha asks, astonished, but there's no answer as small electric sparks begins to fly around Goku, and a golden aura starts to form around Goku. The boy yells again, this time the scream even louder and more powerful. They all watch as his hair turns golden, his eyes aqua. He stops screaming, and to everyone's surprise, he begins to fly, much like Tien and Kaiatsu, only to fall down. When did he learn to fly? Launch says while Bulma faints. Tien helps Goku up, while Rashi tends to the tournament announcer. What happened? Rashi asks him, but Kaiatsu approaches him. 9-inch Master Rashi. I found this, Kaiatsu says, handing Master Rashi a small piece of paper. Rashi looks at the strange symbol on it, but says nothing. No, after all the years, he couldn't have returned. Rashi thinks to himself, it can't be true. Come on, let's get him back to the restaurant, Yamcha suggests, and everyone agrees. Inside, they all watch as Goku begins to inhale virtually everything on the table. What could it have been? Tien asks Rashi. Is this the work of Master Shun? No, Tien, Rashi says, Kaiatsu found this. The symbol on this piece of paper means demon. For all the evil in his heart now, even Shun would know never to trifle with the meaning behind this symbol. Around 300 years ago, give or take a few years, the world was devastated by the greatest enemy they had ever known. King Piccolo, a demon with extraordinary power. Every martial artist who stood against him fell, and Earth's armies were powerless against him. Back in those days, Shun and I were comrades, and it was our master, Mateto, who developed a technique that would stop Piccolo, the Mafuba. It was a fierce battle, but in the end, Piccolo was sealed by the Mafuba inside of an electric rice cooker. Hey, rice cooker? Oolong asks, the apprehension in his voice obvious. Rashi only nods. The Mafuba will work with pretty much any container, as long as it's prepped the right way and you have a proper seal for it, Rashi explains, but it's an extremely draining technique. Master Mateto became the planet's savior that day, but at the cost of his own life. Wow, that was some feast, Goku says, hopping away from the table. Even in mourning, Bulma says, sun is still sun. Goku, what are you doing? Yamcha says as Goku takes a pose and begins to focus. They watch as his golden form returns after a moment of trying, and then it fades. Goku then focuses again as it activates once more. Huh, it's funny, Goku says, it only happens when I think about things that really make me angry, like mercenary Tao killing Bora or Krillin. Goku, the power coming off that though, it's the most intense ki I've ever felt, Tien says. Rashi nods. Indeed, it makes him powerful. You girls go back to the hotel, there's something I need to see, Rashi says. No way, Bulma says, but Rashi ignores her, looking at his student. Come on, Goku, we're going to the beach, Rashi says. That old perv must be serious, Launch says as Rashi leads Goku away, with Tien, Kairatsu, and Yamcha following. As the sun sets, Rashi looks at Goku. Alright, let's just see what you can do with it. I want you to fire a Kamehameha wave into the ocean. Okay, Goku says, and Rashi watches as he complies, nodding at the result. It's a little more intense than what you put out against Tien, but you always become stronger after you fight. Now, I want you to get really angry, Goku, and try it again. You got it, Master Rashi, Goku says eagerly, taking the form again. He smiles as he lets a massive Kamehameha rip, the likes of which none had seen before. Holy crap, Yamcha says in awe at the wake the beam produced. A small smile grows on Rashi's face, as he turns and looks at everyone. I saw King Piccolo's power firsthand. As impressive as it was, it could never compare to this, Rashi says. And that's not all. Goku says, as he begins to float. He did that before, Tien says, except it was right after he found Krillin. Goku, Rashi says as Goku laughs. Where did you learn that? I'm just doing what Tien and Kaiatsu did. Goku says. I see, Rashi says. That's a crane school trick. But Goku's always been a fast learner. It should come as no surprise, especially now that his powers have expanded. Now listen, Goku, this is important. What is it, Master Rashi? Goku asks. Goku, the power you have when you get angry, Rashi begins. Well, it's scary and outright dangerous. You have to promise me only to use it when you absolutely have to, got it? I promise, Master Rashi, Goku says, and he begins practicing his flight, looping around several times and laughing. Well, so much for the Nimbus. Rashi says. Oh yeah, Goku says. Hey, if I can fly now, I really don't have a use for it. No, hold on to it. I gave it to you, remember? Rashi says. Besides, we don't know if this power is only temporary or not. You never know when the Nimbus could come in handy again. We should still come up with some sort of plan to deal with this King Piccolo, Tien says. Leave that to me, Goku says, landing. I'm going to make Piccolo pay for what he did to Krillin. It's not just Krillin, either. Rashi says, that guy from the tournament said the monster that killed Krillin took a list of all the other strong fighters on it. That means all their lives are in danger, even the four of you. If Krillin hadn't been there, then it would have been you that died. Goku. Us too, Yamcha says, looking around. Well, I don't care what he is, he can damn well try. And with that broken leg, he won't have to try hard. Rashi reminds Yamcha. As they arrive back at the hotel, they're greeted by Bulma, Oolong, Puar, and Launch, all curious to hear the plan, which Rashi explains. So, you're saying the plan is for Goku to just knock the living hell out of this Piccolo guy? Launch asks. Seems pretty generic if you ask me, Oolong says. Well, Rashi says, the simple truth is that if it's anybody but Goku, they'd be facing certain death. In all my years, I've never even heard of power like whatever this kid's found, and that's saying something. If Goku gives Piccolo even a tenth of that, he's in for a world of hurt. You really think so? Goku asks, amazed. Rashi nods. I'd never joke about anything related to Piccolo, Rashi says. It's great that you believe so much in Son, Bulma says. But how exactly is he going to find this guy? Just wait for the screams. That's right. We have no way of finding him. Tien says. Honestly, do I have to think of everything? Oolong says, whatever killed Krillin took Goku's Dragon Ball. Bulma's eyes light up. That's right. And with the Dragon Radar. It'll lead Goku right to Piccolo. Yamcha says. And once he's dealt with, Bulma says with a smile, we just have to get the rest and bring back Krillin. If Son can fly, it'll be a piece of cake. Yeah, let's do this. Goku says eagerly. For Krillin. There's just one thing that bothers me, Master Rashi. Tien says, if Piccolo is as bad as you say, who in the world would want to bring him back? So, as you can see, Pilaf says nervously, standing before King Piccolo on his intimidating throne. Once you have all 7, you can get whatever you want. 7 for one wish, Piccolo says. I like the sound of that. It's marvelous, Pilaf says. For leaders like us only need one wish to rule the world. I don't need magic balls to rule the earth, Piccolo says. It fell before my feet before, it will fall again. Then Shu begins. What do you want? The greatest prize, Piccolo says, while Pilaf, Shu, and Mai listen, confused by smiling nervously as if their lives depended on it. Why rule this planet for but a single lifetime, when I could rule it for many lifetimes? Eternal youth. I would be the master of time itself. Yes, Pilaf says, there is something I want to run past you. If you recall, it was I who freed you from that jar after grabbing you from the cold sea. Get to the point, Pilaf, Piccolo says sternly. Well, King Piccolo, when the world does fall under your control, Pilaf says. Yes, Piccolo replies, annoyed. If you would, reward me with half the planet? Pilaf asks. Piccolo only stares at Pilaf. Did I say half? I'm in a third. I'm terrible with fractions. Pilaf says, but it's clear Piccolo not buying it. A quarter? Some swampland. Piccolo only glares at Pilaf. I'll consider it. Could you throw in a few extras to help raise the property values? Pilaf asks hopefully. Pilaf. Piccolo yells, where is Tambourine? My. Pilaf says as my pushes a button. A small globe descends in front of the throne, showing an orange dot in progress, homing in on Pilaf's aerial base. There you have it, King Piccolo. Pilaf says, what I can't figure out is why you wanted a list of the members of the Martial Arts Society. Those people are dull. It was one of them that sealed me in that cursed jar. The arrogance. The world's strongest fighters are on that list, and they will all be destroyed. All of them. Piccolo yells, shooting 2 eye beams and destroying the rice cooker, frightening the Pilaf gang. In flight, Goku smiles as he glances down at the dragon radar. Gotcha, he thinks as he homes in on the blip. Now you're going to pay, he says, excited as his thirst for vengeance guides him. In front of him, Goku sees the monster that stole the Dragon Ball, Tambourine, with green, blotted skin and bat-like wings, flying ahead. Stop, Goku yells as he homes in. Tambourine says, turning his head as Goku flies up next to him. He gives the monster an angry look, and both stop. Goku looks him over and notices the 4-star Dragon Ball in his hand. You killed my friend, Goku yells. Your point. Tambourine responds. I'm going to make you pay for this. Goku yells, and Tambourine gasps as Goku's hair turns golden, and before he knows what happens, Goku begins his assault, easily dispatching the monster after a Kamehameha. Goku watches as Tambourine falls to the ground in the forest below and lands, pulling out a small bag and placing the Dragon Ball in it. That guy might have killed Krillin, Goku says to himself, and I'm glad he's dead. But it's not over yet. He sniffs the air and follows the aroma, finding a huge fish impaled beside a campfire. Someone else is here, Goku thinks. What is it, sire? The pterodactyl-like son of King Piccolo, Piano, says with some concern. It's your brother, Piccolo says. Someone has killed Tambourine. Are you sure? Piano asks. Pilaf, Piccolo shouts. Show me where the Dragon Balls are now. At once, Pilaf says, hitting a switch. Everyone gathered watches as a globe descends from the ceiling, with 2 orange beeps very close together. They're not moving, Shu says. This confirms it, Piccolo says angrily. But, Piccolo, what could destroy Tambourine? Piano asks. Not what? But who? Pilaf thinks to himself, and I bet I know just the brat. Pilaf begins nervously. Piccolo shoots him a stern look. Speak, Piccolo commands. Yes, King Piccolo. Pilaf begins. I may have an idea. There's awkward silence. A Piccolo only glares at Pilaf. The person who's responsible might be this brat named Goku, Pilaf says. Goku? Piccolo asks, and Pilaf nods. Who is this Goku? He's a horrible little brat that keeps ruining all my plans. Pilaf yells. A little brat? Piccolo asks in disbelief. Yes. Pilaf yells. I know what you're thinking, but he's freakishly strong. He decimated my palace. This complicates things, Piccolo says, thinking for a moment. Piccolo, I know what you're thinking, Piano says, but you must be careful. Each child you have in your current state only dash. I only need one. Piano. Piccolo says, aging will not be a problem once I have the Dragon Balls. And now, to solve this problem. Sire, he's not going to. Shu asks, concerns, while Mai and Pilaf only watch with horrified fascination. Rise and form to serve your master. Piccolo says, rise and form to serve your master. 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 And slowly, a large egg begins to emerge from Piccolo's mouth, landing and hatching. Mai covers her mouth repulsed. Sir, does it have a name? Piano asks. His name shall be Symbol, Piccolo says. Oh, A musical instrument. How original. Silence, piano. Piccolo yells. They watch as the dragon-like creature within emerges and rises, quickly growing to full size. Piccolo smiles. Child, who do you serve? Piccolo asks. My lord. Symbol says, Piccolo. Good. Piccolo says, find the Dragon Balls. Avenge your brother. Yes. Symbol says as he takes off. Sire, can I have a word? Shu asks Pilaf, pulling him aside. Shouldn't you be the one giving orders? Who saved who here? Quiet. Pilaf whispers. I'm sure we'll be rewarded when Piccolo takes over the world. Piccolo groans in annoyance while the Pilaf gang nervously laughs. Hello. Goku yells, wandering around the forest. Not seeing anything, he smiles and looks to the huge fish and begins chowing down. Smiling, he walks over to a huge rock, takes a stance and punches it, watching it shatter. Satisfied, Goku stops and sighs. Krillin, I'm so sorry. Goku then pulls out the dragon radar and looks around, seeing another blip on it. Another Dragon Ball? Already. He then begins looking around, hearing a footstep, and to his surprise, from the brush flies a huge boulder. Instinctively, Goku jumps away. I know you're there. Come out and face me, coward. To Goku's surprise, a short, stout man appears with long, unkempt dark hair, wearing a sleeveless red yukata, a black obi, and an obvious katana by his side. I'm no coward. You're the thief that stole my food. That fish was my breakfast, and you ate it. Someone left it on that stick. Goku yells. I was cooking it on that stick, you moron, the man yells. I didn't steal anything. Can you prove it was your breakfast? Goku yells. Are you calling me a liar? The man yells. I hope you're prepared to fight. Okay, Goku yells, hopping down, and notices something around the man's neck, the one-star Dragon Ball. Hey, you're helping that monster, aren't you? Monster? The man asks, confused. The big, green monster that killed my friend Krillin. Goku yells. Nice story, but you stole my food. Now pay the price, the man says. Liar, Goku yells. I'd rather be a liar than a thief. So you are lying. Goku yells. You take that back, the man yells, as the two charge each other and begin exchanging blows. To Goku's surprise, in spite of his appearance, he puts up a pretty good fight, sending Goku to the ground after a headbutt. Hey, that's not fair. Goku yells, responding with a punch to the face as the battle continues, with Goku eventually ending it with a roundhouse kick, sending the man flying into a rock. Have a nice nap. But the man emerges from the rubble, only looking angry. Who is this guy? I hit him as hard as I could. Okay, I can tell you're not from around here. The man says, what do you call yourself, big hair? I'm Son Goku, what about you? Goku asks. I'm Yajirobe. Yajirobe. Goku asks, that's a funny name. It's better than Son Goku. Yajirobe yells, causing Goku to leap forward, grappling with him. But then Goku notices the Dragon Ball again, hopping back. What the hell's wrong with you? Yajirobe asks. That Dragon Ball around your neck. Goku begins. Where did you find it? Huh? I found it in the jungle around 3 years ago, Yajirobe says. 3 years ago? That's... Goku says, counting on his fingers and slowly doing the math. He laughs. If you found it 3 years ago, there's no way you were helping that monster. This was all just one misunderstanding. I told you I'm not a liar, Yajirobe says. Goku's smile fades as he sees something flying in the sky. That monster? I thought I killed him. Goku says, watching. Yajirobe looks up, and they watch as Symbol lands. How long you live depends on how you answer my question, Symbol says. That's not him, Goku says. Be quick, Yajirobe yells. What do you want from us? Which one of you destroyed my brother? Speak quickly, or suffer the consequences. If you want someone's help, then you should ask nicely, Yajirobe yells. Symbol does a double take, chuckling as he notices the Dragon Ball around Yajirobe's neck. That bauble, where did you get it? Symbol asks. You're after the Dragon Ball? Then that must mean, did your brother have green skin like you? And wings like you? That sounds like tambourine, Symbol says, which must mean you must be the one that destroyed him. That means you're my enemy. Goku yells. Awfully cocky, boy, Symbol says. I'll break every bone in your body. And yours as well if you don't hand over that ball. Try it, I'll kick your ass. Yajirobe says. No, he's mine. Goku says. He's in cahoots with the guy that killed my friend. That's your problem, not mine. Yajirobe says. But this creep insulted me. Why are you being so stubborn about this? Goku asks. Because he's going to be my new breakfast. Yajirobe proclaims. Symbol looks in disbelief as the two begin to play repeated rounds of rock, papers, scissors, with Yajirobe emerging the victor. He then stands in front of Symbol. Do your worst. I want this fight to last. Yajirobe says. Symbol chuckles. If you're so eager to die, who am I to stop you? Yajirobe charges, but Symbol quickly knocks him back. Yajirobe brushes himself off. It's been a long morning. I keep meeting strong enemies, he says. It's not strength, you're just weak, Symbol says. I'll show you who's weak, monster. Yajirobe says, delivering a jump kick that connects with Symbol's face. Hey, you're less scary when you're missing a few teeth. You'll pay for that, Symbol says, holding his hand out. Lightning shoots out, causing Yajirobe to jump and dodge. That's a neat trick. You didn't say we could use weapons. Yajirobe says. You sure you don't want my help? Goku asks, but Yajirobe only holds his hand up. I can handle him by myself, Yajirobe says. Let's finish this. Why don't you keep dancing? Symbol says, but Yajirobe says nothing as he charges, his hand on his katana. Symbol smiles as he holds his out, firing the lightning again, but Yajirobe dodges each shot and leaps, his sword drawn, striking Symbol. Slowly, the monster begins to fall, his torso bisected. Wow, you don't look like it, but you're fast. Goku says, you're really going to eat him? Of course, Yajirobe says as he begins hauling Symbol's remains off. You gonna cook him? Goku asks. Yeah, and you can't have any, Yajirobe says. Well, at least let me cook him for you. Stay back, Goku says, pulling his hands back. Yajirobe watches as Goku fires off a Kamehameha at Symbol's body, roasting the monster. Symbol is no more. Piccolo says, he's dead. My sympathies, King Piccolo, Pilaf says. Silence. How can you comprehend what I feel? He was my own blood. Piccolo yells. The demon fumes on his throne. This shouldn't be happening. Is that kid really that strong? Pilaf asks in disbelief. You. Piccolo yells, pointing at Pilaf. Take this vessel to wherever Tambourine and Symbol fell. I'll destroy this new adversary myself. Are you sure, Sire Piccolo? Piano asks. Silence, Piano. This is personal, Piccolo says. I will see to their destruction for interfering with my plans. And that's why I need all 7, Goku says, as he finishes explaining his story to Yajirobe. One wish, and you'll use it to bring back your friend. Yajirobe asks, with Goku nodding in response. He must have meant a lot to you. Huh, Goku says, looking up as he notices Pilaf's flying base coming towards them. What is that thing? Yajirobe asks. King Piccolo, we have arrived at our destination. A voice says out of the plane. What? Yajirobe says. I've heard that name before. It was a story I was told in my village. Oh, crap. I remember. Here. Yajirobe removes the Dragon Ball and hands it to Goku. Here, it's all yours. Yajirobe begins moving with haste away from Goku. But Yajirobe, Piccolo might taste the best. No, that's okay, I'm stuffed. Nice meeting you. Yajirobe says, running into the woods. Shrugging, Goku looks back up to the plane and watches as a figure floats down, tall and hideously green. You must be the leader of those monsters. Goku says. Yes, Piccolo says. I see you have a Dragon Ball. Then you're the one that's responsible for Krillin's death. Goku yells. Piccolo chuckles. And now, I'm going to make you pay. Goku says. Piccolo only chuckles. You really don't have a clue, do you? You see, every time I meet a martial artist, I have an urge to destroy them. Just try it. Goku yells, attacking, and the two exchange blows, with the fight evenly matched at first, but Goku knocks King Piccolo back. Piccolo pulls himself up and chuckles again. assuming his own pose, clearly indicating he's taking the fight seriously. Well done, boy. I had no idea I could be knocked down. You're good. I can see why my children fell. But if you're this good, where were you when your friend died? Goku takes a deep breath, but then he only smiles, his eyes determined. First, let me teach you a thing or two about who I am. You're going to teach me? Piccolo asks, amused. You're going to love this, trust me. What you're seeing now is my normal form, Goku says. And this? What's he doing? Yajirobe asks, peering out of the bushes, curious to see what his new friend is up to. Goku assumes a pose, his hands out, his feet apart, and takes a deep breath. The ground begins to shake. Goku looks to the sky and yells out, his hair once again turning gold, his eyes aqua. He then hangs his head and stares Piccolo dead on. Sorry about that. I'm not quite used to this, Goku says as Piccolo gasps. This is me when I'm angry. And guess what? You're not going to like me when I'm angry. Piccolo is helpless as Goku's assault begins, moving at speeds the Demon King can't comprehend, while Yajirobe watches, dumbstruck. Piccolo is brought to one knee, blood dripping from his mouth. What the hell are you? Piccolo says he stands, looking down, only to see Goku stand next to him as pull his hands back as blue energy forms around it. Evacuate, Pilaf shouts to Mai and Shu, as the two run towards a small biplane, while Piano only watches, terrified. This is for Krillin, you monster, Goku yells as he lets rip a massive Kamehameha, hitting King Piccolo head-on and vaporizing him, the beam continuing onward, making contact with Pilaf's flying base. The base explodes spectacularly, taking Piano with it, with Pilaf's plane barely makes it out in time. Goku returns to his normal form, collapsing on the ground, while Yajirobe runs over to him. Goku, what is that? Yajirobe asks as he helps his new friend up. Goku groggily shakes his head. Was that really King Piccolo? Uh-huh, Goku says. That symbol on his robe. It was the same one we found by Krillin. Master Roshi said it was the mark of the demon. The stories I heard about that guy, and you took him out like it was nothing, Yajirobe says amazed. He looks up as hears a noise, only to see another plane zeroing in on them. He grabs his katana, but Goku stops him. No, wait, Goku says. It's okay, I know them. They're my friends. They watch as the plane descends, landing, and out steps Bulma, Roshi, Yamcha, Oolong, Puar, Launch, Kaiatsu, and Tien Shinhan. Goku, you're alive, Oolong says in amazement while Roshi examines everything. Yeah, I am, Goku says, smiling. But what are you guys doing here? Silly, Bulma says. I made another dragon radar, and we decided to help you out by gathering the rest of the Dragon Balls. We saw two here. Oh yeah, Goku says, pulling out the original radar and taking a look. Huh? That's weird. Hey Bulma, I think I broke it. It's not working, but I have Grandpa's Dragon Ball right here. What's with that stone around your neck? Oolong asks. Bulma takes Goku's radar and examines her own. It's not broken. But Goku pulls out the 4-star Dragon Ball, only to see turned into stone. Hey, isn't that what happens when a wish is made? Yamcha asks. Yeah, but we didn't have all 7, Bulma says. They were Dragon Balls just a moment ago, I swear, Goku says, while Roshi comes over. So you really took out Piccolo, eh? Roshi says, and Goku nods. Goku, I saw the terror Piccolo could create. You have no idea just how dangerous he was back in my day. I'd say the world owes you a favor. That's nice, but Krillin, Goku says, now I can't wish him back. What'll happen to him? Bulma smiles and holds up a capsule. Don't worry about that. I'm sure there's some way we can get the Dragon Balls back. I had my dad make a special freezing capsule, and we decided to keep Krillin in here, just to be safe. Yeah, we don't want any zombies running around when he comes back, Oolong says. Goku smiles. Thanks, Bulma. But what can we do about the Dragon Balls? Roshi says. Goku, I'm not sure what happened to the Dragon Balls, but I think I know who can help. I think you should pay a visit to Krillin. He might have the answers you need. What's a Krillin? Yajirobe asks. Yeah, you're right, Goku says, turning around to fly, but he stops. But what about you guys? Rashi looks at Tien and Kaiatsu. My offer's still open if you two want to take it up. No, but thank you, Tien says. As for me, it looks like I have a title I have to defend. Against someone like Goku. I'm going to need all the training I can get. We'll find our own way, Master Rashi. Yeah, no kidding, Yamcha says. I want to crack at that title myself. Well, that seems to settle that, Rashi says, and looking to Goku. At least see what else Krillin can teach you, Goku. Maybe he can even help you hone that new power of yours. Just don't hone it too much, okay? Tien says with a small smile. I look forward to our next encounter. Yeah, you too, Tien. Goku says as he flies off. Bye, everyone. They all watch as Goku leaves. So, who's this Krillin guy? Yajirobe asks. Nice work, Goku. Krillin says, smiling at Goku. I need your help, Master, Goku says. Don't worry about it, kid, Krillin says. I saw what you did to Piccolo. You've come along quite a bit. Here, I think you've earned this. Krillin points with his staff to a small table, upon which sits a kettle and a small cup. What's that? Goku asks. Krillin smiles. The final part of your training, the Ultra Divine Water. Ultra Divine Water. Krillin nods. It has the potential to draw out any of your remaining strength. I had planned to use it as a backup plan for you in case you lost to Piccolo, but after seeing that, there was no need. And with all the strength you've gained already, I'm sure you're ready for it. But be warned, that's not just something you can take a sip of, Goku. It's a potent toxin. Others have tried, but none survived. As soon as I had a taste, I had to spit it out. Well, I can handle it, Goku says, approaching the table. He pours a cup and looks at the liquid. I'm sure you can, Krillin says, observing as Goku drinks. Goku chugs it and begins grimacing in pain, falling over. But to Krillin's surprise, Goku's angry form once again returns and fades quickly as Goku yells. He pants. Here, eat this, Krillin says, giving Goku a senzu bean, who quickly eats it. Goku stands, looking at his hands. So, how do you feel? I don't know, Goku says. I don't feel much different. Krillin says. Well, it's hard to say if it did the trick. So what brought you here? Oh, right, Goku says, holding up the now stone Dragon Balls. After I killed Piccolo, the Dragon Balls turned to stone, like someone had made a wish, but that couldn't have happened. I see, Krillin says, thinking. And without that, you can't bring your friend back. Yeah, Goku says sadly. And it's unfortunate, Krillin says. Your friend's soul will never rest. Those killed by the likes of Piccolo will float in limbo forever unless they're revived by the Dragon Balls. You mean there's nothing we can do? Goku asks. Well, I think we might have a chance left. I almost forgot, Krillin says. All you have to do is meet with the creator of the Dragon Balls, and he should be able to fix it. Well, who's that? Goku asks eagerly. You really don't know? Krillin asks, Kami. Who's that? Goku asks. The creator. Who else did you think? Krillin asks. But Kami only accepts a few audiences, if ever, and only those from those pure of heart. Where can I find him? Goku asks. He's here, Krillin asks, but Goku only looks around confused. And by here, I mean way above this temple. Goku looks up over the side. Way up there? I bet I can fly up. That's a good idea, but you can't get higher than this, Krillin says, but with that power pole of yours. The power pole? Goku asks, and Krillin nods. It was originally created to take the owner to that temple above, Krillin explains. I loaned it to Master Rashi, and I didn't think anyone else would be able to carry it until you came along. Goku pulls out the power pole, smiling, and flies to the roof of the temple, while Krillin walks up. Now put the pole into the hole on the roof. Command it to stretch, and off you go. Hold on tight, Krillin says. Oh, and here, take this. Krillin pulls out a small bell and hands it to Goku. Only someone with that bell can meet Kami. All right, here goes. Goku says, power pole extend. Krillin watches as Goku shoots off into the sky. Take care. Bye, Krillin. Goku yells. After some time, the power pole finally extends to the top, and using his tail, Goku swings over to a nearby ladder and begins climbing, reaching the top and walking forward, not sure what to make of his new surroundings, but stops when he sees a strange being, a large, genie-like figure with black skin and a likewise costume. "Oh, hello," Goku says. "Hi," the being says. "My name's Goku, and I'm looking for Kami," Goku says. "I know Kami, but my name is Mr. Popo," Mr. Popo explains, "and I've heard a lot about you." "What? How?" Goku asks. "Kami told me all about you," Mr. Popo says. "He did?" Mr. Popo nods. "Yes, Kami knows much." Goku points behind Mr. Popo. "Then is that his house?" "First, do you have proof that Krillin approved you?" Mr. Popo asks. Goku nods and shows Mr. Popo the bell. Mr. Popo smiles. "Good. So, can I meet Kami now?" Goku asks. "I'm sorry to say," Mr. Popo says, "but I'm afraid Kami's well dead." "What?" Goku says in disbelief. "It's true," Mr. Popo replies. "I'm afraid there was a complication." "A complication?" Goku says. Mr. Popo nods. "There may be a way to undo what has been done, but only when you are ready. But, if you wish, I believe I can help you in other ways. You're looking to become stronger, right?" Goku nods. "I can pass on some of the techniques you would learn if Kami were still alive," Mr. Popo says, "and tell you everything needed in order to bring your friend back, Goku. But, you must promise to remain here until you finish what you started." "How long will that be?" Goku asks. "About 3 years." "3 years?" Goku asks. "That's when the next tournament is." "All right, Mr. Popo, I promise." "Good," Mr. Popo says. "Then we can begin." Dragon Ball Z Part 2, The Forgotten Promise. Last time on Dragon Ball. In the aftermath of the 22nd World Martial Arts Tournament, Krillin, Goku's best friend, offered to retrieve a few things Goku had forgotten, but ended up killed at the hands of the terrible monster, Tambourine. In anguish, Goku's rage awoke a hidden power deep inside him, strengthening him to a frightening degree. It was then revealed that the mastermind behind Krillin's death was King Piccolo, a dangerous foe from Master Roshi's past that wielded terrifying power. But with Goku's new form, he easily dispatched the monster, but at a cost, the Dragon Balls. Searching for answers, Goku found that Kami, the creator of the Dragon Balls, had perished and began his tutelage for 3 years under the guidance of Mr. Popo, Kami's attendant, with the hope that, in time, Goku could one day restore the Dragon Balls and bring his best friend back to life. Age 756, May 7th. "Really?" Oolong complains as the rain pours, stepping outside of a cab as Por follows him. "You couldn't have just said yeah. Meet us at the hotel." While Launch is more than happy to see the pair, Rashi keeps his eyes on the cab, watching the next passenger emerge, Bulma. The old master adjusts his sunglasses as a small grin forms on his face, which quickly turns to a frown as he's unable to see just what he's looking for. "Launch, has it really been 3 years?" Bulma says, running up to Launch. "What do you think of my new dress?" Slyly, Rashi puts his hand on Bulma's rear. "I'd say it fits in all the right places." For his efforts, Rashi gets a solid elbow right in his face. "Hands off," Bulma yells angrily. "You haven't changed one damn bit." "And I'd say you're stronger than ever," Rashi says, adding, "I thought Yamcha would be coming with you?" "No, he left a while ago to go train," Oolong says. "Yeah, by himself," Bulma says, none too happy about it. He must have followed Goku's example then," Rashi says. "I can't wait to see him now," Por says excitedly. A moment later, a small child runs past them, trying to grab a balloon that got away from here. "Here, let me help you," Bulma says, trying to reach for the balloon. "Oolong, help me out, turn into a ladder or something." "Why don't you just get her a new one?" Oolong responds. A hand reaches up, the face on the body obscured by an umbrella, and grabs the balloon. "Here you are, Bulma," the man says happily. "How do you know my name?" Bulma asks. "It's good to see you again, Master Rashi," he says. Rashi says, confused. The man lowers the umbrella, and everyone sees a strange face, the hair obscured by a turban. Everyone stares for a moment. No way, Oolong says in surprise. Where's Yamcha and Tien? Have they arrived yet, he asks. It can't be, Bulma says, lost in his eyes. Goku, Rashi asks in surprise. Of course it's me. Who else would it be, he responds. Prove it, Oolong says. I bet it's because of this thing on my head, he says, unwrapping the turban, and sure enough, he reveals the all-too-familiar pointed hair of Son Goku. Bulma only stares in shock and surprise at the little kid she used to know and go on adventures with, now a man grown. Lady, the kid says, with Bulma realizing the child still wants her balloon. Bulma hands it off, and the kid runs off. You definitely have Goku's hairstyle, Bulma says. Bulma, what happened? Goku says with concern in his voice. Your lips are bleeding. It's called lipstick, you moron. Bulma snaps, but then looking back into his eyes, and then at their friends, he really is Goku. Last call for applications. I repeat, last call for applications, a staff member announces over the PA. You better go quick, Rashi says. Oh yeah, Goku says, running off. Bulma grabs her cheeks in surprise. Who would have thought Goku could have grown up to be so tall and handsome, she says, while Rashi and Launch exchange a look. To everyone's surprise as they wait for Tien, Yamcha, and Kaiatsu, a quick breeze is felt, and suddenly the three stand, smiling at their comrades, and entering the tournament grounds to register. Yamcha, Poor yells happily, rushing up to Yamcha. It's been a long time, Tien says. Yeah, it has, Goku says, coming forward as the three drop their jaws in surprise. Goku, is that you? Yamcha says, nervously chuckling. Yep, Goku says happily. How strong do you think he's gotten? Kaiatsu asks. I don't know, Tien says smiling. But this is going to be an interesting tournament. Hey guys, Rashi says. I made hotel reservations for all of us, so why don't you go rest up for the tournament? Everyone moves together as a group, exchanging stories, while Bulma and Oolong pull up the rear. Oolong, which do you think looks better, Goku or Yamcha? Goku's so tall, but that ponytail on Yamcha. Bulma asks. Why are you asking me? Oolong asks, clearly annoyed. Age 756, May 8th. In the smaller arena where the preliminary matches were held, Goku, Tien, Kaiatsu, and Yamcha all share stories about their training. So, you think you have a chance this time? Goku asks Yamcha. Well, as long as I don't piss you off. Yeah, I do. Yamcha says, though, what happened to your tail? Oh, about that. Goku says, turns out that if I had my tail removed, then the moon would be brought back. Neat, huh? The three only stare at Goku in disbelief, but then laugh, realizing that Goku's telling at least his version of the truth. There aren't as many fighters this time, Tien observes. Yeah, I bet you and Goku scared most of them away, Yamcha says. That's okay, Goku says with a smile. There's only 3 people I want to fight anyway, so I'm not worried about. Goku then turns his head, and he feels a tap on his shoulder. He turns around, his face confused. Whoa, Yamcha says. Goku finds himself looking at a pretty girl, roughly his age, happily smiling at him, wearing a blue uniform with a red sash. Hello, Goku, she says sweetly. Goku says, do I know you? Her expression changes to one of surprise, then to rage as she yells at him. You jerk. Was it something I said? Goku says, recoiling, but the girl walks away. How strange. Did you know her? Tien says. No, I haven't seen her before, honest. Goku says. She seems like she knew you from somewhere, Kaiatsu says, but Yamcha is silent. That face? I know I've seen it before, he thinks. Moments later, every fighter is assembled and the basic instructions for the tournament are given to the 70 gathered fighters. They're each instructed to draw numbers for which block of the preliminaries they would begin with. Kaiatsu, Tien thinks, set it up so we're each in a different block. Do it for that girl as well. Moments later, Yamcha and Goku smile as they realize everyone is in a different block, and the preliminaries begin, with Goku, Yamcha, and Tien easily advancing without too much effort. Congratulating each other, They move over to watch Kaiatsu's fight, but by the time they arrive, they find Kaiatsu laying on the mat, badly beaten. Kaiatsu, Tien says, running to his friend's aid. A familiar chuckle is heard. Don't worry about him, he's barely alive. After all, if I killed him, I would be disqualified. It's been a long time, Tien Shinhan. And you also, Son Goku. Looking up, they see a familiar-looking pink chi-pao with the symbol for kill prominently displayed in blood red on the front. Tien gasps while Goku angrily grits his teeth. While the top half of his head was modified with cybernetic enhancements, the nose, jaw, and mustache gave his identity away immediately. It's you, Goku yells in surprise. So you finally notice, he says. Master Tao, I thought you were dead, Tien says. Tao scoffs, as if I could die so easily. Although it is true, I was in pretty bad shape, but thanks to the efforts of the Red Ribbon Army's top scientist, I have returned. Good luck in these preliminaries. I look forward to seeing you, Son Goku, in the finals. Of course, I have no interest in winning a petty tournament. I only wish to take your life. And then, you, Tien, you traitor. They watch as Tao walks away smugly. Damn, Yamcha says in surprise. For a second there, Goku, I thought you were going to snap and that'd be the end of it. Who the hell is that guy? His name's Mercenary Tao. He's a hired assassin, Goku says, and don't worry about my anger. I have it under control now. In the back, a large fighter with an afro and goatee watches the exchange. So that's the bastard that killed my master. I don't care if they put a Cuisinart in him. That won't stop the Satan school of fighting from taking their revenge. As Kairatsu is escorted to the infirmary, the three easily overcome their remaining fights, taking time to pay attention to the mysterious girl, easily dispatching her opponent. They later watch a squat, fat fighter in a mask holding his own very well as the aforementioned afro and goatee fighter easily handling his opponents. Finally, Goku smiles as they watch his old foe, King Chappa, win his final bout. It looks like the competition's going to be pretty tough this year, Yamcha says, as the 8 finalists all assemble and look at the tournament seeding. Match 1. Son Goku vs. Name Withheld. Match 2. Tien Shinhan vs. Mask X. Match 3. Yamcha vs. Mercenary Tao. Match 4. King Chappa vs. Mr. Satan. Just my luck, Yamcha says, turning to Tien. You know him, what's his deal? Aside from being a killer. He's Master Shun's brother, Tien says. It shames me to say he was also one of my teachers. There was a time not too long ago when Kaiatsu and I wanted to be just like him. Don't underestimate Yamcha. He's dangerous, especially if he wants to kill both me and Goku. Goku smiles though. Don't worry about that, Tien. I dealt with him once. I'm sure I can handle him again. Tien returns the smile. I'm sure you can. Looks like we won't get a rematch in the finals, though. Yeah, Goku says. Guess I'll have to settle for Yamcha. Yamcha laughs. I guess it's just not my day. Don't think I'm going to lay down for you, Goku. I still have a few new tricks up my sleeve. I can't wait to see them, Goku says. As they exit, they're greeted by Master Roshi, Bulma, Launch, Oolong, and Puar. They just put up the tournament brackets, but Mercenary Tao, I thought you killed him, Goku, Roshi says. Goku only laughs and scratches his head nervously. It's no big deal, Goku says. I don't think he realizes just what he's up against. I will not let that statement slide, another voice says, causing Roshi to turn his head. Shun, Roshi says. Let me give you some advice, old friend, Shin says. Your little turtle schooler's out to run away before the crane school dines on turtle soup. And let me set the record straight, Shun, Roshi snaps. Tien was never my student, and the other two, Goku and Yamcha, have long since gone on their own paths. They may wear the uniform of the turtle school, but they do it to honor me and the code of honor they learned. They've both surpassed me as a fighter. It matters not, Shin says. And you can keep your honor, you old fool. As a cyborg, my brother is now stronger than ever, and none of you have any hope of victory. They watch as Shin walks away, while Bulma angrily crosses her arms. Geez, I didn't know he could become an even bigger asshole, but he somehow found a way. Tao doesn't have a prayer, Goku says. I just want to see how Tien and Yamcha have come along, and I can't wait at all. The matches will begin momentarily. Will the contestants please assemble? The PA rings out. Never mind him, Rashi says. I want all three of you to show me how far you've progressed. But like I always say, don't try to push yourself beyond your limits. If you can't win, then withdraw. You've got it, Master Rashi, Yamcha says, while Bulma, Launch, Puar, and Oolong wish them all the best of luck. Look at that crowd, Tien says. I guess word got around of our fight. How many people have you told about that business with Piccolo? Goku shrugs. Only a couple, but one was Krillin and the other was my teacher. And that guy Yajirobe. It's a shame he's not here. He was pretty strong too. I'd love to have another shot at him. Oh yeah, Tien says. I guess you'd have to be to take out one of Piccolo's goons so easily. You sure seem at ease with that Tao guy though, Yamcha says. Of course I am, Goku says. I know both you and Tien are even stronger than him. Just don't worry about it. By the way, you guys want to eat. They watch as Goku pulls out 3 beans, offering them to Tien and Yamcha. The two decline. Senza beans, eh? Yamcha says, pulling one out of his GI. I brought a few myself. How? Goku says. Master Rashi told us about Krillin, Tien says. I paid him a visit, and it looks like Yamcha did too. Yajirobe was there as well. I guess he just kind of moved in with him. I told him about this tournament, but he said it sounded like a waste of time. That sounds like Yajirobe, all right, Goku says, not noticing the fighter known only as Mask X walking by. In the ring, the announcer smiles as he grabs a mic. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you all for your patience. At this time, we shall now begin the 23rd Strongest Under the Heavens World Martial Arts Tournament. The crowd cheers loudly as the announcer continues. In our first match, last year's runner-up, Son Goku, and his opponent, who has requested that her name be withheld. Well, that's my cue, Goku says, hopping into the ring. Good luck, Goku, Yamcha says. Goku looks at her puzzled. So, you always seem kind of mad. Why's that? She scoffs at him. As your own heart that. Huh, Goku says, I don't get it. Do you think I'm someone else? Your son Goku. Am I right? Yeah, Goku says, but the gong signaling the beginning of the match rings, and the girl goes on the offensive immediately, with Goku dodging her blows. Are you sure you know me? Goku says between attacks. Yeah, she yells as Goku blocks her onslaught. When? Goku asks. That's why I'm mad, jerk. I spent all this time waiting, and you forgot. Waiting for what? Goku says as her attacks pick up in intensity. For you to live up to your promise. What promise? Goku says as he jumps up. That's strange, Rashi says. She's quite good. Her own style is incredibly similar to the turtle school's. You said you'd ask for my hand, she yells. Rashi, Bulma, Yamcha, Puar, and Oolong gasp. Her, Yamcha says, remembering. Hey guys, what's she talking about? Goku asks. Goku, you idiot. Yamcha says, you promised her you'd marry her. That's right, you jerk. I ought to kick your ass for being so cruel. I don't remember that. Goku says, why would I make that promise? I don't even know who you are. Well, if you beat me, maybe I'll tell you my name, she says. To be honest, I kinda like another girl already, Goku says, watching the girl stop in surprise. What? She yells. Goku only raises his hand and points directly at Bulma. Bulma's jaw drops in shock, as do everyone else's. All this time, Bulma says, shocked. Maybe this will refresh your memory, the girl yells, going right up to Goku and planting a kiss on him. Nope, Goku says, so can I fight back now? The girl yells in frustration and begins attacking, only for Goku to respond with a solid punch to her chest, sending her flying out of the ring and crashing into the barrier. I think I overdid it, Goku says. Out of bounds. A ring-out victory for contestant Son Goku, the announcer says, and with the mic off, he goes over to Rashi. How the hell did he do that? Rashi says, if I had to guess, I'd say he punched with such force that he created a shockwave and blew her away literally. The girl looks up at Goku, holding her head, with tears in her eyes, and runs away, only to run into Yamcha. She looks up at him. "Wait, don't I know you?" she asks. Yamcha smiles at her. "And now, will contestant Tien Shinhan and contestant Mask X please enter the ring?" Goku hops out of the ring and takes a seat, oblivious to the fact that everyone just saw his confession. "So, Goku has a thing for Bulma, eh?" Oolong says. "I thought he was a hick. I didn't realize he had such great taste." "But what about Yamcha?" Poor asks. "And all this time, he's been in front of me," Bulma says, going on about how somehow deep inside, she knew the feeling to be true. "Yeah, well, enjoy it, honey, blonde," Launch says. "Now my man Tien's gonna show you what a real man is like." Did she forget what Goku did to Piccolo? Oolong asks Rashi, who only shrugs. "Pig, if I had women figured out, you think I'd still be me?" Rashi asks. Tien stands in the ring, staring Mask X down. "This won't be an easy one. I can't see his face, but the intensity in those eyes. This guy means business." The gong rings, and Mask X charges Tien instantly, catching the reigning champion off guard. Tien takes to the air and watches as Mask X charges out of the ring, landing face first on the ground outside. What just happened? Tien thinks to himself. And another ring out. Contestant Tien has advanced to the semifinals and will face Son Goku in a rematch from last year's exciting finale. Tien lands, watching as Mask X hastily retreats into a tunnel. He smiles. "So you made it after all. Sorry, Yajirobe. I guess I should have blocked instead of dodged." And now, ladies and gentlemen, our third match. Contestant Yamcha versus contestant Tao. "Huh," Yamcha says as he hears his name called. He looks back to the girl and smiles. "By the way, I never caught your name." "Chi-Chi," she says, with a smile. "Well, at least I found my first true love." "Right," Yamcha says, smiling at her. "We'll pick this up in a moment. I'll be right back." Yamcha hops into the ring, focusing on his opponent, mercenary Tao. "So, are you prepared to die?" Tao says. "I know for a fact you can't kill me," Yamcha says confidently. "Oh, but I can," Tao says, adding, "I just can't kill you if I want to win this tournament. You'll fall after your friends fall. How does that sound?" "Go ahead and try it. You can open her," Yamcha says, taking a pose. Can open her?" "Well, if you insist," Tao says, and the battle begins, with Tao going on the offensive, but Yamcha easily avoids his attacks, making use of the afterimage technique. "How?" Tao says in frustration. "Just give up now, buddy," Yamcha says. "You're too slow and too weak." "I'll show you weak," Tao says, lunging out with a punch, only for Yamcha to catch it. "See what I mean?" Yamcha says, but to his surprise, Tao pulls his arm back, and Yamcha is amazed and stunned as he sees himself holding the disconnected hand of Tao. "What?" He looks up to see a blade come out of Tao's hand and barely steps back, the blade slashing his GI and skin. "A flagrant foul," the announcer yells. "This match has been forfeited to contestant Yamcha." "Oh, who cares?" Tao says. "I'm going to kill him, and then Tien Shinhan, and then Son Goku." "I don't think so," a voice says, and Tien stands on the ring, his shirt off, the anger obvious in his eye. "Have you lost even your pride as a martial artist?" "Oh, look at you all high and mighty," Tao says. "That mouth of yours will be closed forever soon." Yamcha rushes from behind, only for Tao to counterattack, and he quickly grabs Yamcha, holding the blade to his neck. Yamcha pushes away with all his might, making some progress. Give me a break," Yamcha says quietly. "As you wish," Tao says, stomping Yamcha right in the shin. Everyone gasps as Yamcha goes down, grabbing his leg and yelling in pain. "You bastard," Tien says. "And now, Tien," Tao says, "allow me to introduce you to a technique you wouldn't know. The Super Dodon Ray. Once it hits you, you'll be dead before you know it. Don't even think about dodging. It'll follow you no matter where you go." "Then shut up and do it." "Now," Tien yells. "So brave," Launch says, watching intently. "Super Dodon Ray," Tao yells, firing off the blast, but Tien shouts in its path, the beam disappearing. "What?" Tao says in surprise, but Tien leaps forward and begins attacking, easily dominating Tao. The cyborg collapses, and Tien exits the ring, dropping the unconscious body off with Master Shun. "Take him," Tien says. "I never want to see either of you again. He'll wake up in a few days." In a fury, Shun grabs his brother and flies off, cursing Tien as he disappears. Ladies and gentlemen, I've just been informed that for fighting outside of his match with another contestant, that contestant Tien Shinhan has been disqualified, the announcer says. "What?" Rashi says. "Oh, that's bullcrap. That guy wanted to kill Tien. That's self-defense," Launch says to the announcer. "I'm sorry, really," the announcer says to them, "but rules are rules." "It's all right, Master Rashi," Tien says. "I can fight Goku anytime. I'm sure he won't object." In the ring, a group of medics strap Yamcha to a board and begin to carry him out while he protests. "No, I'm serious. If you just reach into my GI." "Oh, don't worry," Chi-Chi says, running up to his side. "We'll get through this." Dumbfounded, Rashi shakes his head. Not 10 minutes ago, that girl was head over heels in love with Goku. "Oh, Yamcha," Por says. Tien looks at them and smiles. "Don't worry. Once he can eat a senzu bean, he'll be all better," Tien says. "First Goku, now Yamcha," Launch says. "True love. What a load of crap. Won't find me falling head over heels for some meathead. Right, Bulma?" "And to think, the first time we met I shot him. My true love," Bulma says, going on. "Forget it, Launch, she's rolling," Oolong says. "Well, that has some unexpected excitement, folks. But I've just been informed by our doctor that contestant Yamcha must withdraw due to injury. Tao may have done nothing, but it looks like he and Shin figured out a way to spit in my face one last time," Rashi says, shaking his head. "As a result, Son Goku has automatically advanced to the finals and will face the winner of this next bout, making his debut, contestant Mr. Satan, and his opponent, the former world champion, King Chappa." "King Chappa?" Oolong says. "Didn't Goku fight him last time?" "Yeah, and it took only a single kick," Rashi says. They watch as the battle between Mr. Satan and King Chappa begins, with it being a very grounded, traditional martial arts battle. "That Mr. Satan guy's not bad," Tien says. "He's got some real talent." "Yeah, but that's nothing next to Goku," Oolong says, and a few moments later, they watch as a dynamite kick sends King Chappa flying out of the ring. And that's it, folks. Contestant Mr. Satan is the winner and will face contestant Son Goku in the finals next. Mr. Satan says. "Bring him on now. I'm just getting warmed up. I don't need a rest period." "Yeah, neither do I," Goku yells, jumping up onto the ring. Well, I've just been informed that if both fighters agree, then we can forego the rest period. This bout will determine our new champion." Both fighters take a ready pose, and the gong rings. "Come on, what are you waiting for?" Mr. Satan says. "You're pretty strong," Goku says. "I'm just trying to figure out how you'll counter my attacks." "You cocky bastard, I watched your fight against Tien Shinhan from the last tournament. Your cheap tricks won't work on me." "Cheap tricks?" Goku says. "You must mean the Kamehameha wave. Don't worry about that. I don't think I'll need it." Finally, Mr. Satan attacks, and it's quite an impressive display as Goku dodges and blocks. "Wow, you're faster than I thought," Goku says, making a more noticeable effort to avoid the attacks. "How much time did you spend training? Maybe we can give each other tips." "I don't need tips from you," Mr. Satan says as Goku backflips away. "You sure about that?" Goku says. "Your form is pretty good, and you've got solid fundamentals. I just want to see what you can really do." "What I can really do?" Mr. Satan yells. "Fine, how about this? Dynamite kick." Mr. Satan unleashes his trademarked roundhouse, which Goku just barely dodges. "Not bad," Goku says, but he puts his hands together. "But can I have a quick timeout, please? I'll give you a free shot, I promise." "What?" Mr. Satan says as Goku sits down. "Hey Tien, can you give me a hand with these?" Tien steps to the edge of the ring, somewhat confused. "You want me to hold on to your clothes?" "Yeah," Goku says, removing his boots, undershirt, and wristbands. "Okay, but..." "Wow," Tien says, feeling the clothes. Goku, these don't feel like normal clothes. This feels like 250 pounds. Yep, Goku says happily as he hops up. My new teacher said they'd make me stronger. What do you think? You mean, this entire time you've been wearing this? Tien says in shock. Forget Goku getting angry. If I fought him, after what I've seen, it wouldn't be close. Just how strong are you, Goku? Goku proceeds to do some mock attacks into the air with incredible speed and turns to Mr. Satan. Now, come at me. You paid that guy off, Mr. Satan yells, and he begins a second attack, with Goku easily dodging every blow, and before Mr. Satan knows it, Goku's behind him, and he delivers a swift chop to the neck, putting Mr. Satan down. The referee checks on Mr. Satan and quickly points to Goku. I'm being told this is a knockout, which means the winner and the new strongest under the heavens is none other than Son Goku. Goku helps Mr. Satan up and smiles at him. How? Mr. Satan says. Were those clothes? Were you really serious? Yeah, Goku says. Pretty neat, right? I never thought to try it out. How much did they cost you? Mr. Satan asks. Oh, those were a gift. I'm not even sure if you can buy one, Goku says. All I wanted was a crack at that robot guy, Mr. Satan says. Trust me, you didn't, Goku says. You're pretty good and strong, but that guy was just bad news. You don't understand. He killed my teacher, Mr. Satan responds. Oh, sorry, Goku says, but then with a smile, but I'll tell you what. Keep training, and maybe next time we can have a rematch, got it? A rematch, Mr. Satan says. This guy comes in with tricks and fancy clothes, and thinks he can make a mockery out of me? All right, Goku, you're on. I'll train so hard that the next time we meet, entire cities will be chanting my name. Yeah, Goku says. Till then, see ya. Interlude. And so, Son Goku was finally the world martial arts champion. Upon returning to his friends, they congratulated, but it was Bulma who broke out, telling Goku that in her own way, she too was in love with him, and with a smile, Goku picked her up and flew into the sunset. A couple months later, the pair would marry in an elaborate ceremony, and it was shortly thereafter, after arriving at his new home in Capsule Corps, that Goku knew it was true love when he saw the size of Bulma's kitchen. The two would be happily married, and 9 months later Bulma gave birth to a son with lavender hair, whom she wanted to give the name Trunks, keeping her family's naming convention intact. But it was only when Goku spoke up, wanting to name him after his departed adopted grandfather, that Bulma knew it was only right for her child to be called Son Gohan. With a smile, Goku promised that she would name their next son. But not to be beaten to the punch, Chi-Chi remembered that Yamcha was the first boy to confess his love to her, and she happily convinced him to marry her. She would give him a daughter, Yamchi, a bright little girl with a minor talent for martial arts, but forced into more scholarly pursuits. In spite of this, they were a very happy family, with Yamcha finding a new career as an all-star baseball player for the West City Titans, easily providing for his family, while Chi-Chi enjoyed the new social status it provided. Son Gohan proved to be a happy, carefree child, being extremely smart and extremely talented when it came to martial arts, wanting to be just like his parents. For 5 years, peace reigned on Earth, and especially for the Sun Brief's family, until the day Goku's life began the next incredible chapter, October 12th, age 761. Dragon Ball Z Part 3, The Sons of Bardock. Last time on Dragon Ball Z, Son Goku had finally achieved his goal of becoming the strongest under the heavens, and in a move that shocked everyone, confessed in public, much to the chagrin of Chi-Chi, that his true love all along had been Bulma, his long-time traveling companion. And so, Bulma realized that her feelings were the same, and the two ran off, marrying quickly and producing a child, a clever, talented little boy named in honor of Goku's adopted grandfather, Son Gohan. But little did the happy family realize that their entire world was about to be turned upside down. Age 761, October 12th. The farmer looked up in awe at the streaking object flying through the sky, right towards him. He dropped his mouth in awe, watching as it streaked right overhead, crashing not too far away. Quickly, he got into his truck and sped into the direct, his shotgun ready. What is it, a meteor? He thought to himself, and peering into the crater, he saw a strange, metallic sphere. Quickly it opened, and a large being in strange armor, a tail wrapped around the torso, long dark hair, and a green lens device over his left eye stepped out and floated away from the crater. The farmer he watched as he pressed a button on the device and smirked. A power level of 5? It's a race of utter weaklings, he says, observing the landscape. In fear, the farmer aimed it fired at him. But to his surprise, the stranger caught the bullet, smirking. He then flicked it back, hitting the farmer in the forehead, knocking him out cold. He then scanned the area and sighed. Kakarot has failed us, he says. This planet is teeming with life. A moment later, the device beeps and he smiles. A power level of 753. That must be Kakarot. He took off, flying in the direction. After a few moments in flight, he stopped, observing the strange, domed-like structure in front of him, smiling at the landscape. Now everything makes sense. The Earthlings must have surrendered to Kakarot, and now he's their king. Well done, little brother. Landing, he walked into the building, approaching a desk where a young receptionist sat. She smiled as she looked up to him. Can I help you? She asked. Who's in charge here? He said sternly. Oh, that would be Dr. Briefs, but I'm afraid you'd need an appointment, she replied. A doctor? I'm not looking for some kind of healer. I'm looking for a fighter. To his surprise, another young woman peeked her head around the corner, with short blue hair and lab coat. Hey, maybe I can help you, she says. I'm Bulma. Dr. Briefs is my father. As she rounds the corner, he sees her holding a small child with lavender-colored hair. That child, there's something strange about him. I just said I needed a warrior, a man of immense power. Oh, then you must mean Goku, my husband. He's busy training right now. Do you know him? Bulma asks. Hearing that, he walked right past her into the hall. Hey, I asked you a question. Stop right there. Someone call security. Bulma yells. An alarm sounds off, and several armed guards come rushing out. Stop, the lead guard says, but the man only smirks and keeps walking forward. This is your last warning. Bulma's eyes go wide as she rushes away. Gohan, cover your ears, she says, and the boy complies. All right, take this creep down, the guard yells, and they open fire. But to their surprise, the man only advances, and with frightening speed attacks, sending each guard down to the floor hard. Hold it right there, jerk, a stern female voice cries out. He turns and sees a woman with long, flowing blonde hair, wearing a Kevlar helmet and a green tank top. He blinks in surprise, stunned by the beauty in front of him, but quickly shakes it off. Or what? He says with a mocking smile. She pulls out an automatic carbine and takes aim, firing off a burst, but it has little effect. Bulma, are you doing a live fire test? A voice says, and the man turns to see who is speaking. To his surprise, he sees someone wearing a strange, orange uniform and oddly familiar hair. What in the... He says, stopping, and looking up, notices the intruder. He assumes a battle pose. I see. Who are you? The man smiles at him. That's the jerk causing all the chaos, Goku. Bulma yells. So, we finally meet, the man says. You're all grown up, but I could tell just from a glance that it was you, Kakarot. Goku frowns in confusion. Kakawat. Amazing how much you look like our father, he says. Goku, what does he mean? Do you know this creep? Bulma yells. I don't know what he's talking about, Bulma. Goku replies. Your mission was to exterminate all the native life on this planet. He says, why haven't you carried it out? Goku takes a hard look at him and realizes something. That armor. I don't know what you mean. My name is Son Goku. What the hell happened to you, Kakarot? Have you forgotten everything? The man yells. Daddy, Gohan yells, trying to run to his father, but Bulma stops him. No, stay back, Gohan. Goku yells. Did you suffer any head injuries when you were young? Goku thinks for a moment. What? Are you stupid too? Did you hit your head when you were a kid? Yes, Goku says. But I was very young and I don't remember anything about it. I see, the man says, that explains it. Explains what? What do you mean? Goku yells. The man smiles. It's time to refresh that fragile little head of yours. 22 years ago, you were sent away from our home with the mission to subjugate and prepare this world. You mean to tell me you don't remember anything about planet Vegeta or the Saiyan race? Vegeta? Saiyans? Goku asks in surprise. That's right, Kakarot. You didn't really think you were here, did you? The man says, and the man says, and as for me, my name is Raditz. And if you were paying attention, I'm your brother. If that's true, why is Goku on Earth? Bulma asks. Well, it's simple, Raditz says. You see, we Saiyans are powerful warriors. As such, Kakarot's mission was to exterminate all life on this world. We may be a strong, proud race, but we're also businessmen. We scour the universe for planets with good environments and use our strength to eliminate any native life. We then sell that world to any aliens willing to pay the price. For a strong world, adults are sent in, but for weak, pathetic worlds like this, we send in infants. Kakarot could have handled this world easily, especially considering the size of this planet's moon. Bulma gasps in shock and does a double take on Raditz. Goku. He has a tail, like you used to. Used to, Raditz says in shock. You cut off your tail. What difference does it make? Goku says, I don't care if you're my brother, or if I'm an alien. I'm not Kakarot. My name is Son Goku, and this is my home, and you're not welcome here. That's right, Bulma says. Goku could never be a monster like the people you talked about. He saved this planet from bigger jerks than you, and he can do it again. I'm afraid it'll take more than strong words to convince me, Raditz says, chuckling. You see, Kakarot, years ago, planet Vegeta was destroyed in a freak accident, and nearly every member of our race went with it, including our parents. There's only 4 Saiyans left now, including you and me. I was off-world with another world, and later we rendezvoused with the 3rd. And now that brings me to you. Goku only stares at Raditz in shock, but Raditz just continues. You see, we found a nice, cozy world that would fetch quite a hefty profit, but with just the 3 of us, it won't be easy. With you, we could easily manage this, and you can finally rejoin your race. Gohan begins crying, and Goku only looks at Raditz with contempt. Forget it. I'll never join you. Really? Raditz says, looking at Gohan. Is that your child, Kakarot? Goku begins to feel his blood boil. No, he's not. Daddy, yes I am. Gohan yells. Shit, Goku mutters as Raditz laughs. I wanted to reason with you, Kakarot, but I suppose I'll just have to take him with me, Raditz says, walking towards Gohan. Damn it, Raditz. Goku yells, his hair turning golden. Leave this place and never return. Raditz gasps as he watches his scouter go through the roof, and there's a small explosion. What? 40,000. That's higher than Prince Vegeta. I said leave. Goku yells as Raditz backs away, his eyes wide at the sight before him. My brother, the legendary Super Saiyan. Raditz stammers, and looking to a wall, he fires off a blast, creating a hole, and quickly flies out. Goku reverts to his base farm while Bulma comes up to him. Aren't you going to go after him? She asks, but Goku shakes his head. I will later, Goku says. This guy's not done yet. I can feel it. I'm more worried about the 2 of you. Goku gives both Bulma and a hug. There's something you need to see. Goku walks off, but a moment later comes back, carrying a box. He sets it down and opens it, holding up a small, child-sized version of the armor Raditz was wearing. Grandpa Gohan found me in this, Goku says. I didn't even know where I got it, and I outgrew it pretty quick, so I never had any use for it. But I guess it's all true. Bulma hugs her husband, seeing the conflict within him. Son, you may be a Saiyan, but you're still the man I fell in love with, married and had a baby together. You were still raised by Gohan. You're right, Goku says. This doesn't change anything. You guys hold up here and call Master Roshi. I'm going to go and put a stop this right now. As night falls at his pod, Raditz lands and opens it, climbing inside. Pushing a button, he hears a familiar voice over the communication system that size. What is it, Raditz? Did you find Kakarot? I did, but he failed us, Vegeta. Earth is still teeming with life, but about Kakarot, he somehow gained incredible power. He might even be the legendary Super Saiyan. Don't make me laugh, Raditz. A low-level worm being the legendary Super Saiyan? Forget it. And as for you, Nappa and I have had a nice little chat. And it's occurred to me that you need us a lot more than we need you. Vegeta, what are you saying? It's clear that if Frieza wants Earth, we're going to have to do things ourselves. From this time forward, consider yourself no longer in my employ. But I'll make you a deal, Raditz. In just over a year's time, we should get to Earth. You can either fulfill your brother's mission and rejoin us, or you can make yourself scarce. Otherwise, I will kill you, Raditz. Raditz gasps as the transmission cuts out. Damn it, he yells, stepping out of his pod and ripping off his armor. He lets out a yell and looks up, darkness having overtaken the landscape, and sees the full moon. Slowly, he takes deep breaths as he begins to increase in size. In flight, Goku stops, sensing the enormous increase in power. That must be him. Flying forward, Goku finally approaches the clearing, seeing a huge ape tearing up the landscape. What? No way. That must be the same monster that killed Grandpa. The ape yells as Goku's rage overtakes him, and his golden form returns. And in spite of Goku's increased strength and agility, the sheer size of Raditz as a great ape makes the task rather difficult. Reverting to his from, Goku remembers and puts 2 and 2 together. He said something about the size of the moon, and Grandpa told me to never look at the moon. That must be it. Goku says, flying away and landing a safe distance from Raditz. Looking at the moon, he pulls his hands back as blue ki forms around his hands. Kami, Hami Ha, Goku yells, letting a super Kamehameha rip right at the moon, destroying it. He hears another yell from the ape and takes off, and to his surprise he watches as the ape shrinks, showing Raditz. You killed Grandpa, Goku yells, but his anger slightly subsides as he watches Raditz struggle to get up. No, it was me, wasn't it? Goku takes a seat, looking at Raditz. I thought I told you to leave. Raditz scoffs. You think I didn't have a backup plan, Kakarot? My 2 partners would have been more than willing to help you change your mind. But none of that matters anymore. Vegeta, that bastard said he no longer needs me. I don't see how that's my problem, Raditz, Goku says. Oh, but it is, Raditz says. You see, Vegeta gave me a choice. I could either try to redeem myself and do your job for you by the time they arrived here dash. Wait, they're coming here, Goku says, but Raditz only puts his hand up. And work my way back into their good graces. Or I could not be around, and Vegeta would spare my life. Raditz says, I don't think you understand, Kakarot. You know how I had said Planet Vegeta was destroyed in a freak accident? None of us really believe that at all. Vegeta had his suspicions that it was really the work of our employer behind it. A guy strong enough to destroy a planet? Wait, what do you mean, destroy? Goku asks. As in nothing left. Not even a smoldering ruin. All of it destroyed. Holy, and you work for this guy? Goku asks in shock. Raditz shrugs. Technically, I work for Prince Vegeta. He works for Frieza, Raditz says. Frieza? Goku says, wondering. But this planet. You proved you could have a child with the Earthlings, Raditz says. And what this means is that we have a chance to rebuild our destroyed race. And with that power you have, it can be a new Saiyan race, free from the clutches of Frieza, free to choose their own destiny. I don't think so, Goku says. I'm more worried about when this Vegeta guy is going to show up. I know exactly when they will arrive, Raditz says. But first, stand up, Kakarot. Let's have a friendly little match, just between brothers. This is only to prove a point to you. Don't tap into whatever that freakish power you have is, all right? Just fight me with everything else you have. Are you sure about this? Goku says, I'm pretty good. Raditz only smiles and begins his attack, and to Goku's surprise, he's completely overwhelmed. Every attack Goku tries is useless, much to his own surprise, while Raditz doesn't even appear to be trying. Now, Kakarot, Raditz says, that little device I was wearing earlier? We call it a scouter. I have a spare one in my pod, but you should know that it tells me exactly how strong someone is. We call it a power level. Your own power level, at least without that form you have, is 753. My power level is 1500. That's like twice as strong as me. Goku says in amazement. I always thought I was strong, but you're telling me I'm just a small fry. As far as Saiyans go, yes, Raditz says. Maybe it's because of this planet's gravity. Reaching 750 in an environment such as this is still pretty impressive. But those other two Saiyans I told you about. First, there's power level is about 4,000. And then Vegeta, his is 18,000. And they're absolutely ruthless. With power like that, unless I can find a way to control that form, Goku says, Earth won't stand a chance. What do you mean, control? Raditz asks. Well, Goku begins. I can only access that power if I get really angry. Even then, it's such a rush that sometimes I think it's going to tear me apart. I can only use it in short bursts. If you could use it longer, or turn it on at will, you'd be unstoppable, Raditz says. Is there any way for me to learn this power? I don't know, Goku says. You're the one who said something about a legend. Yes, the legendary Super Saiyan, Raditz says. You mind filling me in? Goku says. I only know small bits of the story, Raditz begins. But over 1,000 years ago, the last one appeared. They said he had such power and such ruthlessness that they would be the strongest warrior in the universe. Wow, Goku says, I don't know about being ruthless, but still, that's kind of impressive. And you think that's me? Raditz shrugs, I don't know. I don't know if it's some kind of fluke or not, Kakarot. It better not be, he thinks. I'll learn this power from you, and then I'll take this planet for myself. And Vegeta and Nappa will pay for all of this. You know what we are in the Saiyan hierarchy? Low-level cannon fodder. Had you stayed on planet Vegeta, and had the planet not been destroyed, you'd be just some goon on some squad that nobody would even care enough about if they died. Well, if I get that strong, those two guys still shouldn't be that much of a bother. Goku says. Raditz stares at Goku. You don't get it, do you? If you can only use that power in short bursts, Vegeta will realize that and simply try to outlast you. He's a prodigy, Kakarot, who only lives for one thing, fighting. Even Nappa will realize that and do what he can. The only way you can hope to win is to match them without that power. And you have just over 1 year to do it. Raditz says. What's in it for you? Goku asks. Payback, Raditz says. Those two treated me like dirt for 20 years, and now they want to make me into an outcast? No, I want to teach them a lesson they'll never forget. Goku stands. All right, Raditz, but I'm warning you. No tricks. And I don't know if I can teach you this power. I only gained it myself after I found my best friend murdered. No tricks, Raditz says, standing up as well. He extends his hand, and Goku shakes it. I'm going to take you back to where I live. Let me handle my wife. I'm sure I'll figure something out, Goku says. And suddenly this guy is on our side, when earlier today he was prepared to kill you and steal our son? Bulma says angrily. Relax, Bulma. He's from... Well, things are different where he's from. That's all. I explained everything to him, right? Goku says. Raditz smiles and nods politely. I apologize for the disturbance, Raditz says. You apologize? Well, you better mean it. I'm used to holes in the wall thanks to this idiot's training, Bulma says. But if you think for one moment you can pull another stunt like that, I don't care how strong you are. So help me. I will find a way to make you regret it. Sitting at the table, Master Roshi quietly watches the scene. I always had my own suspicions, Goku, he says. But I guess this confirms all of them after what Gohan told me. And if what you're saying is true, then it sounds like you're in over your head. Maybe, maybe not, Goku says. I'm going to train every moment I can to get ready for them. And with someone like Raditz around, I'm sure I'll be a match for them. Still, Roshi says, you're not the only strong fighter on this planet. This isn't a tournament. When King Piccolo arrived, the only way anybody stood a chance against his warriors was by plain, old-fashioned teamwork. That's not a bad idea, Goku says. You think Tien, Kaiotsu, and Yamcha will be interested? Roshi nods. If anything, they'll join in just so they can keep up with you. Friends of yours? Raditz asks. Goku nods. Yeah, we've been through a lot together, Goku says. They're also the best warriors on the planet, next to me. Hey, what about that? Oh, what's his name, that fat guy? Bulma asks. Yajirobe. Goku asks. Well, if we can find him. And you trust these people? Raditz asks. Absolutely, Goku says. Raditz, Rashi says. You'll learn that while they may be Goku's friends, they're all rivals with each other. They constantly strive to outdo each other. And if these Saiyans are as bad as you say, then they'll get even stronger. All right, Goku says. Master Rashi, if you could help me get in contact with them. Though, finding Tien and Kairatsu might be a little tricky. You know someone that could help? Goku, Rashi says. I'm sure Krillin could find them easily. Oh yeah, Goku says. Then we'll begin training immediately. Oh, Bulma. Bulma looks up at her husband. What? I kind of want to bring Gohan along for this, too, Goku says. Are you out of your mind? Bulma asks in shock. He's only 4. Yeah, but he's a lot stronger than I was when I was 4. Goku says. Plus, with the training I've been able to do with him, there's a lot of potential in there, just waiting to be unleashed. He's smart, he pays attention, and he wants to be just like us. Fine, but only on one condition. Bulma says. If it gets too dangerous, you'll send him away. You got it, Goku says. And so, over the next several months, Goku and his brother would help train the 4 strongest warriors of Earth for their upcoming battle against the Saiyans. As Raditz saw just how much Goku meant to his friends, he abandoned his plan to turn on Goku and decided that supporting his brother was truly the right thing to do. With the assistance of Master Rashi, Raditz began the initial training of the Turtle School, quickly learning how to refine his abilities. But one day, while training Gohan, he pushed the young boy too far, suffering an injury as a result. Damn it, Raditz yells out, falling to the ground and grabbing his arm, gritting his teeth in pain. I'm sorry, Uncle Raditz, Gohan says. Don't be, boy, Raditz says as Yamcha helps him up. You won't feel sorry if you do that to Nappa or Vegeta. Tien stands next to Rashi, observing, as Raditz finds his footing. It's hard to believe that Gohan is stronger than any of us were the last time we fought. That must be his Saiyan genes, Rashi says. He's getting a tremendous head start and one hell of a crash course. Are you okay? Goku asks, but Raditz only glares at him in pain. Want me to go get a Senzu bean? Fine, Raditz says, pushing Yamcha off him. I'm taking a break. I'd say you've earned it, Goku says, taking off. Raditz slowly walks inside Capsule Corporation, making his way to his room. Opening his door, he's surprised to see Launch inside, cleaning. What happened, she asks. Leave me, Raditz says, still gritting his teeth in pain. You're hurt, she says, going up to him. Here, let me help you. You really don't, Raditz says, but before he knows it, Launch is already helping him get his shirt off. She examines the arm, and Raditz winces in pain, backing off and bumping into a bookshelf, a small amount of dust flying down, with just a tiny bit landing on Launch's face. She braces herself and sneezes, her hair turning blonde. She shakes her head and sees Raditz, shirtless and surprised by the transformation. A smile creeps across her face. Age 762, November 3 to 11:43 a.m. Easter Island Standard Time City. A crowd assembled, looking at the 2 craters that just impacted in the middle of downtown, having already taken out an office building. Talking amongst themselves, they stopped as the smoke cleared, showing 2 spherical pods, gasping as they each opened and 2 figures stepped out, one large and bald, while the other was shorter, with spiky hair and a widow's peak. So, this is Earth, the shorter one says, not as bad as I thought. Why don't you say hello the locals, Nappa? You've got it, Vegeta, Nappa says with a smile, and with a gesture, a large explosion rocks out, destroying the city. Easy, Nappa, Vegeta says. The more damage you cause, the less we can sell it for. Ah, sorry, Vegeta, Nappa says. It slipped my mind, it won't happen again. Now, Vegeta begins. Let's just see where Kakarot is hiding. Raditz mentioned something about 750. Just look for the highest power level, and we'll go after him. Huh, Nappa says. I'm showing multiple readings over 1,000. but they're all in the same place. I see, Vegeta says, smiling. It would appear we're expected. Let's go, Nappa. Did you feel that? Tien says, staring off into the east. Goku stops, as do the other warriors. Yamcha, Kaiatsu, Yajirobe, Gohan, and Raditz. The Saiyans. Goku asks. Raditz stops, closing his eyes and nods. Yes, he says, but they're here a month early. It feels like they're heading right for us. Tien says. Well, we didn't train for nothing. Goku says, come on. Bulma comes running out. Goku, the news just said that East City was. She stops, noticing everyone. Goku looks solemnly at Bulma. It's time. What? You said December. Bulma says. Well, we got it wrong. Yamcha says. All right, let's do this. Mom, Gohan says, worried, but Bulma looks at him and smiles. Don't worry, sweetie. Your daddy will keep you safe, she says, looking at Gohan. And if he doesn't, I guess it won't matter much for long. Let's go, Goku says, taking off, while Gohan, Raditz, Yamcha, Tien, and Kaiatsu follow suit. Bulma looks at Yajirobe, his arms raised up, as if to take off. Yajirobe? Bulma asks. Yeah, Bulma, he responds. What are you doing? I forgot I didn't know how to fly, and now I'm too embarrassed to move, he says. Bulma sighs, come on, inviting him in. She walks into a living room where, with the TV on, sits Launch, Master Roshi, Puar, and Oolong. I just wish there was some way we could see how they're doing. Yajirobe says, taking a seat. Well, about that, Bulma says, opening a closet and grabbing a small box. She opens it, revealing a green lens scouter, and puts it on. Pretty cool, right? This one was a spare that Raditz had, so I managed to crack the code inside it, so that it shows me numbers in our language. Excuse me, Launch says politely, stepping out of the room. You think they'll be all right? Puar asks. This is Goku we're talking about. All they have to do is piss him off and blam. Game over, Oolong says confidently. He hasn't really had a chance to refine that Super Saiyan power of his, Roshi says. It's still difficult for him to pull off and maintain. Yeah, but if he gets one shot in, Yajirobe says. That's true, but there's one difference, Roshi continues. These guys are professionals. I don't know how strong Goku is, but he's in for one hell of a fight. Don't worry, Son won't let us down, Bulma says with a smile. Otherwise he'll have me to deal with. A moment later, Launch comes out, her hair blonde, wearing full combat fatigues and completely loaded for bear. All right, let's go get those Saiyan bastards. Dad, look, Gohan says, flying. All the birds are flying away. They know, Goku says, continuing on. There they are, up ahead. Let's land here. The Z-Fighters land first, and a moment later they watch as the two Saiyans land. All right, Raditz says softly. The tall one is Nappa. Right, Goku says. He watches as a smile forms across Vegeta's face. Well, Raditz, it would seem you didn't take my advice after all. Still, I see you and everyone's been preparing for our arrival. You told them, didn't you, Raditz? You're here early, Raditz says. We had a change in plans, Nappa says. It turns out our employer wanted to make sure the job got done properly this time. You must mean Frieza, Goku says. Vegeta and Nappa both smile. So, you told them, Vegeta says. You're quite the chatterbox, Raditz. Vegeta looks them over and points to Goku. You must be Kakarot. Let's have a little talk. Vegeta walks a small distance away, while uneasily, Goku follows. I want to make this as easy as possible for you and everyone else. All you have to do is renounce this planet and join us. With as strong as you've gotten, you would be a great asset for the Saiyan race. I may even let you bring your brother. Raditz's eyes light up momentarily. No, I can't trust this snake at all. Vegeta turns and looks at the gathered fighters, his attention being drawn to Gohan. Is that a half-breed? Is that your son, Kakarot? Yes, of course, he has to be. His hair and eyes may be different, but he has the look of a Saiyan, Vegeta says, walking towards Gohan. You leave him out of this, Vegeta. Goku snaps, but Vegeta only ignores him, kneeling down in front of Gohan. Hell there, I'm Vegeta. What's your name? Don't be scared. I'm just here to offer your daddy a little job, Vegeta says while Nappa snickers. Vegeta turns and looks at Goku. I'll even let you bring this child and his mother if you want. And then what? Goku yells. You destroy Earth? No deal, Vegeta. So, you want to be difficult, eh? I really hoped it wouldn't come to this, Kakarot, Vegeta says, walking away. Nappa, let's show these worms just how sporting we can be. The Cybermen? Nappa asks. Yes, he says, plant 5 of them. We need Kakarot. One of each of the others. Nappa smiles as he pulls out the seeds, planting them. This is good soil, Vegeta. The Cybermen are sure to be strong. This is going to make things more difficult, Tien says. Kaiatsu, at the first sign of trouble, I want you to run. Oh no, Vegeta says with a laugh. I wasn't thinking of you guys fighting us, at least yet. What do you think, Kakarot? One-on-one fights? It shouldn't give you any trouble. After all, you are the legendary Super Saiyan. Both Vegeta and Nappa laugh at the comment. I'll go first, Tien says, as the Cybermen grow. He quickly attacks, and to the surprise of both the Saiyans, Tien easily overpowers and injures it badly. Vegeta scoffs as he holds out his arm, destroying the creature with a single ki blast. Yamcha smiles cockily at Vegeta. I thought you wanted this to be a fair fight. He asks, why don't we just cut to the chase? I'll take 2 of them at the same time. As you wish, Vegeta says, and 2 Cybermen attack Yamcha. But like it was with Tien, Yamcha is just too strong and fast for the creatures, easily showing his prowess while his friends cheer him on. He knocks one Cyberman away, following up with a spirit ball, destroying it. But to his surprise, the second Cyberman jumps onto him. Hey, get off, Yamcha says, struggling with it. This is not good, he thinks, but finally, breaking the lock of the Cyberman, he grabs it, throwing it into the remaining 2 just as it explodes, destroying all 3. You want me to get out the last 2 Cybermen? Nappa asks, surprised at the strength of the Earthlings. No, we've wasted enough time, Nappa, Vegeta says. A more direct approach is needed. Finally, Nappa says, assuming a battle pose. Raditz and I will take Vegeta. Goku says, you guys deal with Nappa. The battle between the 2 forces commences, with Yamcha and Tien being easily handled by Nappa, easily deflecting their attacks, while Vegeta does likewise with both Goku and Raditz, with Gohan, scared out of his mind, watching in fear. Kaiatsu does attempt to fight, but all his attacks are basically being deflected or having no effect at all. What a persistent little gnat, Nappa says, cheering Kaiatsu, only to be intercepted by Tien. Oh, you want some of this, you freak? Tien begins countering Nappa's blows, while Yamcha jumps in, but Nappa's quick with the counter, giving a heavy blow and sending Yamcha flying back, hard. But this buys enough time for Tien to slowly gain the upper hand, while Goku and Raditz slowly gain ground against Vegeta. Tien manages to get a solid shot in on Nappa, angering the Saiyan. Not such a freak now, am I? Tien says, but Nappa only snarls and delivers a brutal arm smasher, destroying the limb and putting Tien down on the ground. Tien, Goku yells, Raditz, go help them out. Right, Raditz says, backing off, while Goku focuses on Vegeta. Your friends seem rather fragile. Vegeta yells, pressing his attack on Goku. All right, time to end this. Nappa says, standing over Tien, but to his surprise, Kaiatsu grabs onto the Saiyan's back. Kaiatsu, what are you doing? Tien yells out in pain. You little, get the hell off me. Nappa yells, flying backwards into a rock formation, trying to get Kaiatsu off his back. Leave him alone, you bastard. Tien yells. Tien, listen to me. Thank you. Kaiatsu, Tien yells, get out of there now. Please, don't forget about me. I'll miss you. No, don't. Tien yells. Goodbye, Tien. Please, don't die. But it's too late as Kaiatsu explodes, shocking everyone, while Tien watches in horror at his friend's demise, yelling in sheer agony at his loss. Raditz can't believe his eyes, while Gohan begins to tear up. But as the smoke clears, they hear a sinister laugh. I guess that's one less Earthling I have to deal with, Nappa says. You monster! I'll make you pay for this. Tien yells. He, he doesn't even have a scratch on him. Yamcha says, shaking his head. How the hell can we beat this guy? Don't worry about your friend, Nappa says. You'll be joining him soon enough. In his rage, Tien charges Nappa, delivering a vicious onslaught, but the large Saiyan easily deflects every blow. We have to do something, Yamcha says. No, wait, Raditz says. We wait for an opening, then we attack, together. It's the only way. Gohan, do you understand? Yes, Gohan says. You know, Nappa says, this is boring me. How about we end this? Everyone now. Raditz yells as he and Yamcha begin double-teaming Nappa. Now, Gohan. Raditz yells, but he watches as Gohan shakes in terror, running away. Damn it. Together, Yamcha and Raditz deliver a Kamehameha and a double Sunday, but it barely scratches Nappa. Shit, our timing was off, Yamcha says. Well, if you boys insist. I guess I was wrong about the order I'd kill you in. Nappa says tauntingly. Who's first? Kaiatsu. Tien thinks. I'll avenge you. This bastard's going down right now. Holding his remaining arm up, he focuses on Nappa and takes a deep breath. Kikaho, he shouts, watching as his tri-beam hits Nappa dead on, delivering a massive explosion. But while his armor is damaged, Nappa only laughs, being unscathed. That bastard, Tien thinks as he collapses, dead. Tien, Yamcha says in shock, but then he hears a yell and turns, feeling a tremendous spike in energy, causing even Goku and Vegeta to stop their battle. You monster! Gohan yells, flying up towards Nappa and beginning an attack, catching him off guard. Now, Raditz yells, as both he and Yamcha enter the fray again, but Nappa regains his composure, focusing on the pair, and this time he doesn't hold back, beating them badly. Gohan, if you don't start fighting like the Saiyan you are, he's going to kill us all. Raditz yells, and inside Gohan, something snaps. He flies forward at Nappa, head first, hitting the Saiyan hard right in the center of the back, sending the hulking brute down onto the ground. Vegeta's jaw drops in surprise, while Gohan catches his breath. Raditz lands, helping his nephew down, while Yamcha joins them, standing over Nappa. V Vegeta, Nappa says, clearly in pain, I can't move. Goku looks at Nappa and shakes his head, and then looks over to Vegeta. I'd say we're about even. Take your man and leave. Vegeta walks by and stares down at Nappa, holding his arm out. I have no use for a cripple, Vegeta says. What? Nappa asks in horror. I said leave him alone. Goku yells, turning Super Saiyan for a brief moment and punching Vegeta in the face, knocking him back. Vegeta stands slowly, wiping his mouth, and looking down at his glove, notices the blood on it. How dare you? Vegeta says, seething as he stares at Goku. No more games, Kakarot. This time, I'm going to kill you. Everyone, stay back, Goku warns. This is between me and Vegeta. Raditz only nods as he steps back, while Yamcha watches, terrified. Nappa lets out a cough. Kakarot, what about Nappa? Raditz asks. Turning, but keeping Vegeta in his vision, Goku reaches into his GI, pulling out 4 Senzu beans, tossing 3 of them to his brother. Here, give 1 to him. I think he's learned his lesson. If he decides to give you guys trouble again, you should be able to handle it. Daddy, are you sure? Gohan asks. Yes, Goku says. Yamcha, I want you to take Gohan and go back to Capsule Corps. Raditz, take care of Nappa. Vegeta's stronger than I thought. Goku, what about Tien? Yamcha asks. If his body gets damaged, what happens when we wish him back with the Dragon Balls? Wish? What is he talking about? Vegeta thinks. You're right, I didn't think of that, Goku says, turning to Vegeta. Vegeta, my 2 friends that have fallen are also former rivals of mine. Out of respect to them, I'd like to ask you if you want to do this somewhere else. Vegeta gives a chuckle. How touching, Kakarot. Fine. Who am I to deny a dying man his last request? Raditz watches as the 2 take off, heading to the mountains, while Yamcha and Gohan head back west. He then kneels and feeds the Senzu bean to Nappa, who slowly recovers. How could he? Nappa says, shaking his head in a state of total disbelief. All these years, we've been together. Raditz only stares at Nappa. Yes, Nappa. How could he? Nappa looks at Raditz and takes a seat, pondering the events that just transpired. Stopping in a mountainous area, Vegeta assumes a battle stance, while Goku does likewise. So, this is the place you've chosen as your grave, Kakarot? You should feel honored. Not every low-class warrior gets to fight with an elite warrior. Not long after a Saiyan is born, they're tested, and those that score the lowest get sent to the outer worlds, where their opponents are weak. Much like you, Kakarot. You're nothing but an outcast. Maybe, Goku says, but I got sent to Earth, and I'm grateful for that. Besides, maybe even some low-class outcast can surpass an elite. Cute joke, Vegeta says, preparing himself, as the two don't make a move for a few moments. But Goku's the first to attack, but Vegeta's simply too fast for him. He's not even being serious, but he's far above what I can do. The two spar again, with Vegeta once again in control of the fight, while Goku's frustration builds. What? Are you done already? I guess you're nothing but talk, but as a little parting gift, I'll show you the power of a Saiyan elite. Vegeta flies high as energy begins to build around, shocking Goku as Vegeta pulls his hands back, purple energy gathering around his hands. I'm going to destroy both you and this planet. There's nothing you can do to stop me. He's going to what? Goku thinks. Dodge this if you can, Kakarot. But it won't matter, your precious Earth is doomed. Crap, he's serious. I won't let him. Goku thinks to himself, turning Super Saiyan, pulling his hands back as Vegeta unleashes as Gallic Gun, with Goku countering with a Kamehameha. That's impossible. That blast is just like the Gallic Gun. Vegeta thinks, his eyes going wide as the Kamehameha overtakes the Gallic Gun, sending Vegeta into the sky. What happened? Bulma asks, observing the chaos that Yamcha and Gohan brought them to. Tien and Kaiatsu. Yamcha says, shaking his head. They see Raditz sitting. Hey, where's Nappa? He said he had some thinking to do and flew off, Raditz says. Yajirobe steps forward. Where's Goku? He asks, but Bulma pushes a button on her scouter, gasping. Raditz, Launch says, running forward and hugging him. He smiles at her, hugging her back. I'm okay, Launch, he says. How about we go get a drink after this? Sure, whatever you say, she says, burying her head in his chest. They're that way, a tremendous energy, and it just faded. Bulma says, you don't think Goku? No, Raditz says. I'd have felt it if something happened. I need a car. Yajirobe says, Goku's strong, but that guy's way above him. He needs all the help he can get. Forget the car, Raditz says, standing. Come on, I'll carry you. Yajirobe says, going over to Raditz. Master Roshi stands and hangs his head sadly over Tien, pulling out a small capsule and giving it a toss. Could one of you give me a hand with him? He asks, while Yamcha nods and heads over while Raditz takes off in the same direction Goku and Vegeta flew in. They quickly cover the ground, landing by Goku, looking up in the sky. What happened? Raditz asks. I'm not sure. He fired some kind of beam at me, threatening to destroy Earth. I hit him with a Kamehameha, and he just disappeared. You think you got him? Yajirobe asks, but Goku only shakes his head. No, I was angry when I did it, but I can feel faint power bouncing back and forth up there, Goku says. Oh, well, guess you don't need me after all. Best of luck, Yajirobe says, running away. Raditz only shakes his head. I'm certain Vegeta only thinks it was luck, Goku says. He's not done. Let's finish this then, Raditz says, but Goku shakes his head. No, Goku says. This fight is between me and Vegeta. As you wish, Raditz says, but I'm jumping in if it gets too rough. We can't afford to lose. If you want, Goku says, but only if I'm really in trouble, got it? Agreed, Raditz says. In the sky, Vegeta angrily mutters to himself, when he smiles as an idea creeps into his head. So, that's how Kakarot wants to play? Fine. The form may disgust me, but I have no choice. I'll turn into a great ape and crush all of them. Vegeta looks higher into the sky, but frowns. Wait. Earth is supposed to have a large moon? Where is it? Damn it. Vegeta lands, glaring angrily at Goku. So, you think you're smart, don't you, Kakarot? Did Raditz tell you about what the moon does to a Saiyan? You thought you'd just destroy your planet's own satellite and save yourself a whole lot of trouble? Well, it turns out we're used to fighting on planets without a moon. Let me show you just how it's done. Vegeta holds his hand out as an energy sphere forms over it. Is that some kind of ball of fire? Goku asks, but Raditz shakes his head. I've never seen that before. Raditz says, what's he getting at? It's just a little contingency plan a brilliant scientist came up with for those little moments like this. Vegeta says, we call it a power ball, and let me just give you a demonstration. Vegeta sends the power ball into the air, smiling. Burst open and mix. Hey, that kind of looks like, oh no, Goku says, turning to Vegeta. I bet you wish you still had your tail now, Kakarot. Vegeta says with a laugh as Vegeta begins to grow in size. Back with Bulma, Yamcha, and Rashi, Gohan sees the power ball in the distance, feeling the energy coming off of it. Oh no, Daddy, Gohan says, flying off. No, Gohan, it's too damn it. Bulma says, watching as Gohan flies away. Holy crap, Goku says in awe as Vegeta stares down at him, swinging his arms. Goku barely manages to get out of the way as Vegeta attacks, dodging with everything he can to avoid the massive blows. This must have been what it was like for Grandpa, Goku thinks to himself. Well, Grandpa, I'm not going to let this bastard win. Everybody's counting on me. I guess I really have no choice. I just hope my body won't fail me. Vegeta increases the intensity of his attacks, leaving Goku scrambling like mad. If I can just buy 10 seconds, maybe I can rip that tail off. He stops as he hears another roar, his jaw dropping as he notices a familiar sight. Raditz, his clothes ripped, but somehow still on, albeit increased in size, standing as a great ape. You fool, Vegeta yells. Lower-class warriors can't control the form. That's where you're wrong, Vegeta. Raditz yells, grappling with his former commander as the two begin to exchange blows. Goku smiles as a plan forms, and waiting for an opening, watches as Raditz gets pushed back. He then flies directly in front of Vegeta's face. Thanks, Tien. This one's for you. Tien. Goku yells, and Vegeta screams in rage as the blinding light of the solar flare hits his eyes. Goku then lets his anger out and turns Super Saiyan, flying behind Vegeta and grabbing his tail, pulling with all his might. Try all you want, Kakarot, but it's no use. Vegeta laughs. Goku curses, but looking around, he sees Yajirobe, peering out behind a rock. Yajirobe now, Goku yells, pulling back on Vegeta's tail. Do it. Yajirobe looks in horror, but his face changes to one of determination and begins running forward, and with a leaping slash, he cuts off Vegeta's tail, rolling out of the way and sheathing his katana. He turns around as Goku flies back, and they watch as Vegeta slowly returns to his normal form. Damn it, Vegeta yells, firing a blast at the power ball, destroying it, and causing Raditz to revert back to his normal size as well. He gives him a terrifying look. At least I can still take you with me, Vegeta says, preparing himself OT attack, but out of the corner of his eye, he catches something and gasps as he sees Gohan flying in at an incredible speed, the two colliding, knocking Vegeta back. You little bastard, Vegeta says, I'll show you. No, Vegeta, Goku says, landing in front of his son, but Vegeta only pulls his hands back. It's then that everyone hears two screams that both Raditz and Vegeta knew well. What? Vegeta says, and to his surprise, two Cybermen leap onto both his front and back, seemingly out of nowhere, locking their hands around him. What? How dare you get off me? Vegeta says, struggling, but it's no use. Damn you, Kakarot. I spent most of my energy. As he struggles, he looks up and sees a familiar face watching him from a cliff above. Nappa. Damn it, Nappa. Vegeta yells as the Cybermen explode, while Goku and everyone else shield their eyes. As the smoke clears, they see Vegeta laying face down, not moving at first, but slowly he begins to crawl. We should finish it, Kakarot, Raditz says. No, forget about him, Goku says as Vegeta pulls out a small remote. Are you crazy, Goku? Have you forgotten everything he's done? Yajirobe protests. No, I haven't. I'm not happy about it. I know this may sound crazy, but Vegeta has to live, Goku says. On the cliff, Nappa watches, shocked. What the hell is he thinking? Did you get hit on your head again? Raditz asks in surprise. Oh, to hell with that. I'll end this myself, Yajirobe says, drawing his katana. No, Goku yells. Please, just listen to me. I knew Vegeta was strong, but fighting against him and seeing just how fast and strong he was, I'll be honest, it scared me, but it also excited me. Maybe it's this Saiyan blood, but first with Raditz, and then with Vegeta, it makes me want to push myself even further and maybe even beyond my own limits. Let him go for me. If Vegeta dies, it's nothing but a waste, and I need to fight him again someday. They watch as Vegeta's attack pod arrives, and they watch as Vegeta crawls into it, broken. Reluctantly, Yajirobe sheaths his katana. Fine, Goku, you win. Kakarot, you better know what you're doing, Raditz says, shaking his head in disbelief. In his pod, Vegeta only stares angrily at Goku and Raditz, and then looks upwards at Nappa, pointing. You're nothing to me, he says, and then pointing at Raditz. And you'll regret letting Kakarot get his way. The next time we meet, you're dead. They watch as the door to Vegeta's pod closes, the craft taking off. Goku then looks up at Nappa, who meekly looks away, and a few moments later, a capsule core plane landing, with Rashi, Bulma, Launch, Yamcha, Puar, and Oolong exciting. Bulma rushes up and scoops up Gohan, while Launch gives a running jump and kiss to Raditz. See, Gohan, this is the kind of crazy thing your daddy and I used to do. That's why you need to get big and strong, Bulma says. That guy's just lucky he left, thinking he can hurt my Roddy, Launch says as Raditz tries to hide his embarrassment. Why? I would have taken out my .45 and… Wait, Raditz says, how do any of you know this? Bulma smiles at him. You're Scouter, remember? I was able to watch the entire thing. Plus, I tapped into the audio. We had a live feed. Everyone laughs at this, but then Yamcha stops, his head having realized something. Wait, Raditz, you said that a Scouter can send messages across the galaxy, right? Yes, that's right, Raditz says. Could someone listen in? Yamcha asks, and Raditz's expression changes to one of grave concern. He looks up at Nappa, then back at Yamcha. Vegeta had that Scouter on the entire time, at least before he and Kakarot took off. Why do you ask, Yamcha? Raditz asks. I may have mentioned the Dragon Balls, Yamcha says. Everyone stops as they realize what this means. Excuse me, Nappa says, flying down and joining everyone, who stays on guard, but showing no hostility towards him. You said Dragon Balls? Yes, that's right, Yamcha says. What exactly are they? Nappa asks. Everyone looks at Goku, who only nods. Well, Rashi says, they're these 7 little orbs that, when gathered together, let you make one wish. I know it sounds like a fairy tale, but it's true, just ask them. Vegeta and I investigated rumors a while back about some kind of wish orbs from the planet Namek. You never told me about this, Raditz says. You were off on your own business, Nappa says, and Vegeta and I thought it was nothing but a dead end. The only way we'd find out for certain is on Namek. Right, Raditz says, nodding. Excuse me, what's a Namek? Bulma asks. Well, Nappa says, it's a pretty desolate world. It's not even up to be conquered. That's how bad it is. On top of that, the natives, the Namekians, some of them have tremendous power. Not just strength, but tricks like something a magician would know. Nappa, what does someone from Namek look like? Goku asks. Well, they're tall, taller than me, even, have green skin and 2 antennas. Nappa says. That sounds like King Piccolo, Rashi says. Huh. Goku says, when I was training, I was told the reason Kami died was because both he and Piccolo shared the same life force. You said Kami made the Dragon Balls, right? Bulma asks, and Goku nods. Then the people on Namek must at least know something about it. Yeah, but Don't you think Namek's kind of far, Bulma? Goku asks. I mean, we don't even know where it is. Well, lucky for you, Bulma says. You married a brilliant scientist. If we were to take my dad's best engine, it would take us centuries to get to Namek, wherever it is. But since we recovered not only your brother's pod, but also the one you came here on as a baby. Raditz smiles. Of course. You could just build a ship of your own using those engines. Everyone begins to talk happily about the prospect of how interstellar travel is now within their grasp, except for Nappa, who looks at Master Roshi. What's the deal with them? Nappa asks. Don't they realize just how dangerous it could be? Well, that's the strange thing about Goku, Roshi says. I've watched him over the years grow stronger and stronger. He will never be satisfied, and his friend will never be satisfied until they can fight evenly with him. Together, they've been in some tight spots, though none were as tight as this one, and that guy always manages to find a way to come through. He may not be the sharpest knife in the drawer, Nappa, but Goku is the most selfless person I've ever met, and he would do anything to help his friends. Is that why he wants to bring back even those weak ones? Nappa asks. Well, I wouldn't call Tien Shinhan weak, but yes, Roshi says. Nappa frowns in confusion. How can a Saiyan be that charitable? Hey, Kakarot, Nappa says as Goku turns to him. You saved my life today. I don't get what happened with Vegeta. I'm also sorry about your friends. I had no idea that little one was going to blow himself up. I was hoping you'd let me help you. I'm in your debt. Help us, Raditz says in disbelief. I'd say you've helped us enough today, Nappa. Raditz says. I said I'm sorry. But think about this, Raditz. Nappa begins. I've never once seen Vegeta have to get as serious as he did today. What of it? Raditz replies. Now that Kakarot knows what he's up against, it should be trivial the next time they meet. No, shut up and think for a second. Nappa says. Vegeta kept that scouter on until they flew off. Vegeta is either going to tell Frieza about how Earth has Dragon Balls, or he's going to go straight to Namek to see if they have Dragon Balls. And let me ask you this, Raditz. What would a guy like Vegeta wish for? Hell, what would you wish for? Raditz thinks for a moment and looks at Nappa. I'd wish to be immortal. Exactly, Nappa says. Everyone stops and thinks for a moment about those consequences, but they stop as they see a helicopter approaching. It looks like we've got somebody's attention, Yamcha says. I really don't want to deal with these people, Bulma says, motioning towards the plane. Come on, guys. Back at Capsule Corps, everyone eats heartily, while Oolong and Poir watch with shock as Nappa just eats and eats. I thought those beans kept someone fed for like 10 days. Oolong says. I don't think Krillin had science in mind when he grew them, Roshi says. Now, listen, Kakarot, Raditz says. If Vegeta does tell Frieza about what happened, you have to be on your complete alert. Frieza isn't like Vegeta. Frieza is in a different league. Vegeta, and I think he's the reason our planet was destroyed, Nappa says. Well, I guess I'll just handle him if it comes to that, Goku says. I'm not worried about Vegeta, but this Frieza guy sounds intense. You'll need all the help you can get, Nappa says. Please, take me with you. I owe you my life. It's the least I can do. I've been crunching some numbers, Bulma says, and we should be able to have the ship built and ready to go sometime next month. There's just one small problem. I have no idea where Namek is. Oh, I can show you, Nappa says. On a map, it's easy to find. Well, Kakarot, if you insist on going, I'm going with you, Raditz says. I have some unfinished business with Vegeta that I'd like to settle. And if Frieza decides to show his ugly face, then you're going to need all the help you can get. I'm going to, Bulma says. How many of you guys think you can handle flying my ship? I built it. I'm flying the damn thing. You know, Yamcha says, I've been thinking about it. Maybe wishing back Tien, Kaiatsu, and Krillin is a mistake. And I don't mean we shouldn't. But I think maybe what we should do is wish back Kami instead. That'd give us the Dragon Balls here on Earth. And then we can use those. That's not a bad idea, Yamcha, Roshi says. But the problem with that is that you'd bring Piccolo back, too. That's true, Yamcha says. But Master Roshi, you fought against Piccolo yourself. How much stronger are any of us compared to him? Well, you did train like crazy for today, Rashi says. Well, I have an idea, Goku says. We never really saw what Piccolo could do. I just overpowered him. But this time I'm going to be kind of far away. So how about this? Nappa, I know you want to come with me, but if I leave you here, you'd be the strongest person on Earth. With you, Yamcha, Master Rashi, and maybe even Yajirobe, Piccolo wouldn't give you any trouble at all. What do you think? I don't know. I've heard about how strong some Namex can get, Nappa says, but if you really think we can handle it, you've got it. Great, Goku says. Now, what can do we about Gohan? I don't mind babysitting, Launch says, having gone back to her purple hair. I'd be happy to. Actually, Goku says, looking at Bulma, I think we should bring him along. Are you out of your mind? Bulma says, son, Gohan is. I know he's only 5, Goku says, but come on, Bulma. How many crazy adventures did we have when we were young? It'll be our first adventure together as a family. Well, if you promise Gohan will be safe, okay, Bulma says. Dragon Ball Z Part 4, Mission to Namek. November 4th to December 31st, age 762. Last time on Dragon Ball Z. The morning following the arrival and defeat of the Saiyans, Goku, excited with the prospect of not only a rematch with Vegeta, but also with finishing his quest to restore Krillin to life, pays a visit with Mr. Popo. Mr. Popo is astonished and proud to see how far Goku has come, and reveals that Goku is indeed ready to complete his journey. Goku also tells Popo about the similarities between the Namekians and Piccolo and Kami, and then Popo has a realization. He asks for Goku to come along with him, to where Kami lived, years before he became Earth's guardian. They travel to Yunzabit Heights, and Mr. Popo tells Goku Kami's story, and there it is, the house Kami grew up in. Goku says, you know, that looks more like some kind of spaceship. That's why I brought you here. With what you told me about those Namekians, it all fits together. Popo demonstrates how to work the ship, take it to Jupiter and back, and land in the Capsule Corp courtyard, exciting Bulma, and now having a Namekian spaceship. Raditz suggests that they bring Popo along, since he can speak Namekian, and they can't, but he declines, saying he can't leave the lookout unattended. However, he's more than happy to teach what he can before they leave, which is accepted by Bulma and Gohan. What kid wouldn't want to learn to speak to aliens? Although she's very interested in it, Bulma makes the decision that they will proceed with the Capsule Corp spaceship they're building, since the engine is that much more faster. I do want to point out that in the original, Kami's ship took them over a month to get to Namek, while the Capsule Corp ship did it in less than a week. With his attack pod en route to Frieza Planet 79, Vegeta fall unconscious. However, while out cold, he has a vision, a mighty great ape, the size of a planet, seemingly. Look, Vegeta is probably delusional from the sheer number of endorphins, roaring. Its heart shines like a sun, and then explodes. The great ape is now golden, and Vegeta just hears a voice, legendary Super Saiyan. Other visions pour in, many of Frieza, Zarbin, and Dodoria being dicks in general to him, Nappa and Raditz. Eventually he wakes up, and he's brought out of the medical machine. He dresses, and the doctor informs him that Frieza wants to see him. Nervously, Vegeta approaches Frieza. Zarbin and Dodoria flank him, and are smiling smugly. Ah, there you are, Vegeta. Tell me, Vegeta, why did you go to some miserable planet so far out of the way? Do you have any idea how long it has been? Vegeta is silent. Over 1 year, Vegeta. And what do you have to show for it? Almost nothing, Frieza says. However, there is one thing, and one thing only, that is keeping you alive at this moment, Vegeta. Zarbin, the playback. Over a speaker, Yamcha's voice speaks. Goku, what about Tien? If his body gets damaged, what happens when we wish him back with the Dragon Balls? Vegeta's face goes cold. The scouter? Damn it. It was on the whole time. You see, Vegeta, as luck would have it, there are stories. Old stories about magical crystal balls that can somehow grant whatever a person desires. It sounds like a wonderful little fairy tale, doesn't it? Frieza smiles, but then it fades. But some legends are based on facts, and you never know just when it pays off to investigate it. You see, we started looking at every story and lead we could about these orbs, and they all seem to center around a certain green-skinned people with some kind of great, mystical power, Frieza says. Isn't it interesting that somehow these people remained unconquered? Were these reports exaggerated, I wonder? That's why I knew you were still good for something, Vegeta. What the hell is he going on about? He obviously knows about these Dragon Balls. Vegeta wonders. So therefore, I am dispatching you on a special fact-finding mission, Vegeta. You are to go to the planet Namek and use whatever means are necessary to ascertain what you can about these Dragon Balls. And, to lend you a hand, Dodoria shall accompany you. Dodoria smiles grimly. And you shall wear this at all times, Frieza says, holding up a new scouter. He tosses it to Vegeta. He doesn't trust me at all. Fact-finding. He knows damn well there's Dragon Balls there. The instant we find one, that fat pink tub of lard is going to kill me. Or at least that's what they're planning. But no, Frieza, I learned a valuable lesson on Earth. You forget that as a Saiyan, a near-death experience only makes us stronger. And the Earthlings found a way to lower their power level to draw us in. It's brilliant. Too bad for you, I'm a fast learner. Vegeta thinks. You are dismissed, Vegeta, Frieza says. He watches as Zarbon and Dodoria leave. Zarbon, we are leave for Namek first thing tomorrow. Sir, what about Dodoria? Zarbon asks. Frieza laughs. Dodoria is a necessary sacrifice, Zarbon. The question is, when will Dodoria let his guard down? That's why we will only be a single day behind. Vegeta can no longer be trusted. That same day on Earth, the capsule core spaceship is completed and the team of Goku, Bulma, Raditz and Gohan prepare to depart. Yajirobe shows up with some Senzu beans, wishing them luck and saying he'd go with him. But I get space sick easily. During the build-up, Mr. Popo was kind enough to show the gang Kami's old ship. Nappa goes with them to investigate, and they quickly find out that Kami is indeed a Namekian. Bulma figures that the engines on this ship are nothing next to the Saiyan engines they've recovered, but with the computer being Namekian, it might be fun for her and Gohan to try to learn the language. It might come in handy down the road. Seeing Raditz off is Bad Launch, who makes some remarks about Raditz being just like other guys and ditching here. Raditz fires back, playfully, having gotten used to Bad Launch's personality and knowing what makes her tick, and makes an interesting remark about plans when he gets home. Launch is blown away by this. Does this mean what it thinks she means? Find out once the gang returns from Namek. Goku reminds Nappa that he's counting on him in case they have to deal with Piccolo, but Nappa vows that he's not going to let some evil Namek push him around. Goku jokingly reminds Nappa not to kill Piccolo, and Nappa promises not to. And with that, the gang departs. And it's a somewhat peaceful journey. Gohan and Raditz train together in about 25x gravity. Ever since the rage incident with Gohan while training to fight the Saiyans, Raditz has decided to use a more positive approach whenever he's helping out with Gohan's training. He finds Gohan to be amazing, since he knows that there is just the same power Goku has inside of Gohan, waiting to burst out. He wonders if it's the human side of him that's drawing out his latent powers, but he also sees just how much of a genius Gohan is. And due to Bulma's skills as a pilot, they manage to avoid any pesky magnetic storms that may accidentally cause the gravity machine to go to 100x gravity while Goku's in it. Vegeta and Dodoria land, and together, they quickly make work of 4 villages, although it's Dodoria doing most of the work. Dodoria is having such a good time slaughtering normal folks. He doesn't seem to notice that not only is Vegeta only fighting the warrior clan Namekians, but he's also intentionally lowering his power level. They set their sights on a 5th village. Around this time, the capsule core spaceship lands. Bulma breaks out the dragon radar and says, to her amazement, that there's 4 Dragon Balls together. Goku's happy because this means his quest to bring back Krillin is that much closer to being complete. Goku stops for a moment and tells Gohan and Raditz to lower their energy. Goku can sense 2 decent power levels in the same direction as those 4 Dragon Balls, and he's pretty sure one of them is Vegeta. He also senses another even bigger power, far away, in the same direction as a single Dragon Ball. It's decided that Raditz and Gohan will go to the Dragon Ball closest to them, while Goku heads for the Dragon Ball that's far out. reasoning that if Vegeta is on Namek collecting Dragon Balls, as suggested by the Dragon Radar, then that'll probably be the last one they get, due to the distance. Gohan realizes that if they fly, they'll have to expend at least some energy, and that they could be easily found out. Goku thinks for a moment, but Raditz suggests the idea of jumping. Once or twice there was a mission where flying was a bit of a liability, he explains. Goku likes that idea, but they realize one small problem. The journey Goku will have to make is over water, and as impressive as Goku's skills are, he'll have to fly to get there. I know, Goku says, having an idea. Nappa said the average Namekian warrior was a little bit stronger than him. That sound right to you, Raditz? Something like that. Why, what are you planning? Well, lowering my power to around that level would still let me fly. And since I'm flying towards another large power, Vegeta or whoever else is there will just think I'm a Namekian warrior. They'd have to get really close to tell the difference, Goku explains. But Dad, why don't we just do the same thing? Gohan asks. Well, like I said, you'd have to be close. I don't know what close is for Vegeta, but if it's like me, it wouldn't be too hard to figure out, Goku says. Without better alternatives, they agree to this plan. Gohan and Raditz head out with the Dragon Radar. Goku, Bulma says, if you think Vegeta's lurking around the area, shouldn't you go with them? Goku smiles. I think if Vegeta sees how strong they've gotten, he'll probably have second thoughts. If he is on Namek, then he's too busy going after the Dragon Balls to risk losing time. Besides, that power with that other Dragon Ball is crazy. I don't think I could handle it like this, but with that Super Saiyan thing Raditz is always going on about it. Piece of cake. Bulma accepts it, and with a friendly peck and a popped leg, she sees Goku off. Bulma sighs, remarking that it's hard to believe how far little son Goku has come, and that she knows she picked the right husband. Bulma then goes inside the spaceship and sends a message back to Earth. They've arrived, and there are Dragon Balls. Making pretty good time, Raditz and Gohan get close to the Namekian village, but pause as they can sense the energy of Dodoria and Vegeta. Raditz notes that Vegeta's energy is slightly off. It feels the same as if it was on Earth, but he can't quite pinpoint it. Quickly, the two take cover as they realize they're too late. They see Vegeta and Dodoria, though Raditz points out that Vegeta isn't the kind to take orders from Dodoria, and in a situation like this, he usually does the talking. Look, pal, we're in a rush, so just hand over the Dragon Ball, and we can be on our way, Dodoria says. Elder Muri is not cooperating with him. Dodoria advances on Dind and Cargo, the Namekian kid that got blown up in the original events. Here, Cargo gets blown up by Dodoria to Vegeta's disgust, and just then 3 Namekian warriors attack. Vegeta takes them on while Muri fires energy beams that destroy both scouters. Vegeta smiles as this happens and steps up his game, taking out the 3 Namekians quickly. Dodoria finishes everyone else off while Gohan jumps in, much to the frustration of Raditz, helping Dind gets away. Dodoria swears at this, and as he about to give chase, Vegeta makes his move and attacks Dodoria. It's an easy fight for the Prince of all Saiyans, beating Dodoria senseless. Dodoria is confused and tries to make a deal with Vegeta. I'll tell you the truth about what happened to Planet Vegeta. Vegeta laughs. You stupid fat bastard. Any truth you may know only confirms what I've suspected for years now. Really, who else would it be? But wait, together, we could. Oh right, we could rule together. Spare me. I suppose next you're going to beg for mercy while you reveal Frieza's true strength? He's capable of destroying a planet. I think that speaks for itself, now. Dodoria is in shock over how much he's just been played. Vegeta puts his hand out and blasts Dodoria into dust. He laughs. Now, where did that Namekian brat go? I could have sworn I felt one sharp increase. Did I imagine it? Some last-ditch effort from one of the Namekians? Raditz watches as Vegeta flies off. He looks at Gohan. That was very brave, Raditz says. That was also very stupid, Gohan. I'm sorry, Gohan says. It's all right. Looks like Vegeta is indeed on his own. He's stronger, too. I don't think Dodoria realized how strong he had gotten, Raditz says. Dodoria? Gohan asks. The pink one. Oh, Gohan says. He looks at the Namekian child. Are you okay? Gohan asks. My village, the child says. What did they want? Was it a Dragon Ball? Raditz asks. You know about the Dragon Balls? The child asks. We had them on Earth. My father came here on a quest to get them back, Gohan says. By taking ours. We're your friends, Raditz says. We're not like the others. The Dragon Balls on Earth were made by a Namekian that became the planet's guardian. He was killed in an accident about 10 years ago, and my brother hopes to wish him back, as well as to bring back a few friends of his that left before their time, he explains. By the way, what's your name? Mine's Gohan, and that's Raditz. He's my uncle. My name is Dend, Dend says. Dend offers to grab the Dragon Ball that Muri and the others were there to protect, but as Gohan takes a look on the Dragon radar, it's on the move and heading to the next closest Dragon Ball. It looks like Vegeta's on his way to another village, Gohan says. We have to warn them, Dend says. If he gets another Dragon Ball, then he'll have 6 instead of 7, Raditz says. Let's change that. Disgusting slaughtering all these people. This isn't work for a Saiyan elite such as myself. It can't be helped though, Vegeta thinks. He doesn't bother holding back and makes quick work of the village. He steps into a hut. Raditz lands and shakes his head, cursing as he sees the dead Namekians. He sees the 6-star Dragon Ball that Vegeta had and decides to take a chance. He grabs it and stops as he sees Vegeta standing at the hut's entrance, holding the 4-star Dragon Ball. He sets it down and smiles. So, that kid getting away wasn't a coincidence, was it? Vegeta says. I suppose I should thank you and whoever else tagged along for the ride. It seems underestimating Earthlings is becoming a filthy habit. Because of you, I'm free from Frieza grasps and free to collect the Dragon Balls, Vegeta says. Free from Frieza's grasp? What are you talking about? Raditz asks. You see, Raditz. One of the Earthlings happened to say 2 words that gained Frieza's interested. Dragon Balls. And so he sent me and Dodoria here. Dodoria really to watch my back, but you gave me just the distraction I needed. And pray tell, Vegeta, just what will you those Dragon Balls for? A low-class buffoon like you would have to ask, Vegeta says. Step away from that Dragon Ball, Raditz, and I'll forget my promise to kill you. No, Raditz says. We end this right now. Vegeta smiles. Just one more roach to crush under my boot heel. The two assume fighting poses. Vegeta doesn't show the smug arrogance he has. He knows that Raditz has improved dramatically, and he's not taking any chances. They begin, and it's a furious exchange of blow, but neither Saiyan can take the upper hand. Damn it, he's not only stronger, his reaction time and everything else is top-notch. No doubt time spent covering up any weakness with Kakarot. I have to remember this isn't the same Raditz I've known for years. Both stare at each other with hatred in their eyes. Bad blood has been there for years, and now it's at its boiling point. Vegeta and Raditz both believe that they're in an him or me situation. The two taunt each other, but interestingly, Raditz isn't talking like the new good Raditz. What he's displaying here is that good old Saiyan arrogance, except this time, Raditz can actually back it up. The battle is so intense, they don't even notice the spaceship with a ton of really big power levels on it. Lord Frieza, we should be touching down shortly, Zarbon says. Excellent, Zarbon. Send in the candidate, Frieza says. A confident Chui walks in. You, what's your name again? Frieza asks. Chui, Lord Frieza. It is an honor to stand before you. Frieza looks like he could care less. Yes, I will make this short. Neither Dodoria or Vegeta have reported in. I suspect treachery, Frieza says. You really think Dodoria could? Chui says. Of course not, Frieza says, but Vegeta on the other hand. Well, he could cause quite a few problems. Regardless, you are not to return without Vegeta's body, understood? Zarbon will accompany you to make sure my orders are followed through. I expect results within the hour. An hour? Aye. Yes, Lord Frieza at once. Frieza scowls as he observes the Namek landscape. Zarbon, while you're on the mission, I want you to locate some of these Dragon Balls. And the candidate? Consider him terminated, Frieza says. Gohan and Din stop for a moment. Wait, Gohan says. According to the Dragon radar, The other Dragon Balls aren't too far away. Den looks at Gohan. We need to warn the other village. They're in danger. My uncle Raditz is strong. Den, he can handle it, Gohan says. Then, that only leaves the Grand Elder, Den says. Who's that? Gohan asks. Den explains about the Grand Elder, the oldest Namekian, how he's basically every Namekian's dad. Technically true, since Kami died back in the first part. He's wise and knows a lot of cool stuff. Also, they should probably warn him about Vegeta being on the warpath. Gohan asks where the Grand Elder is. Den concentrates for a moment and points in a direct. Hey, that's where my dad went. Gohan says. They're two head off, but then they're cut off by Chui. Now, why is Chui here instead of trying to get Vegeta? Well, Vegeta and Raditz are about evenly matched in terms of power. Chui is still at 18,000, so he'd be outclassed by either. Of course, he can assume one is Vegeta, but being able to see that two people that strong are fighting, he's not going to risk it just yet. Maybe Lord Frieza can be placated with another offering, a Namekian and a Saiyan child? Get back, Gohan says, taking a fighting stance. Chui gives off an arrogant smile. Well, look at this. Power levels of 615. Taking you to Lord Frieza will be a piece of cake. We're not going anywhere, Gohan yells. Oh, and look at this. The little chimp has some spirit. Come on, kid, give me your best shot. I'll even give you a free one. So, Gohan does his anger thing, surprises Chui as his power level jumps to over 30,000, and delivers a beautiful flying kick to the chest. And that is why Chui is no longer contributing to this story. Gohan stops. He grabs something in his pocket. He gasps. The dragon radar got broken somehow. Frantically, Gohan looks in the distance, but can't remember where the Dragon Balls were. Defeated, he heads back to the spaceship with Den in tow. Bulma's smart. She can fix things, right? Both Saiyans are near empty in terms of energy. Their incredible battle has now degenerated into desperate punches that are telegraphed all to hell and can be easily dodged. Vegeta's furious, but it doesn't do any good. Taking a knee, he tries to regain what stamina and can, but a key blast from Raditz ends that as he jumps out of the way. It's then he sees the 4-star Dragon Ball. He smiles and grabs it, and starts charging at Raditz. You want the Dragon Ball so bad. Here, you can have it. Vegeta yells, raising it in an attempt to bash Raditz's skull in. Raditz manages to get out of the way, and delivers a kick to Vegeta's gut. Vegeta goes down, and Raditz is spent. Raditz takes a few deep breaths and starts laughing, proud of his hard-fought victory over Vegeta. He can win. He feels great. He can do this. But then, his eyes go wide and he sees the silhouette of Zarbon against of the Namekian sons. Oh shit, Raditz says. For Goku, his journey was largely uneventful, and finally reaches the source of the power. He stops for a moment. Whoa, Goku says. That must be Frieza. That's crazy strong. A strange house on a very tall cliff. He approaches it, and a burly Namekian stands in the way. Goku's shocked at first, but remembers this is a Namekian. This must be the source of that power. Amazing. He's leagues beyond Piccolo. If I fought him now, I'm not sure if I'd have a chance. My name is Nail. You must be one of the visitors from Earth, Nail says. You are expected, he says, leading Goku inside. Elder, the visitor has come, Nail says. You have come a long way, the Grand Elder begins. Goku looks up and smiles as he sees the Dragon Ball. Wow, this guy, he's huge. I wonder if this is how Kami looked. Allow me to thank you, the Grand Elder says. 2 of your kind saved one of my children. It was an exceptional display of bravery, and I sense that your heart is as pure as theirs. That sounds like something Gohan would do, Goku says. My name is Goku, and I'm a Saiyan. A Saiyan? Tell me, why have you come here? The Grand Elder asks. Grand Elder, I grew up on a planet called Earth. There, we have our own Dragon Balls. Years ago, I accidentally killed their creator, Goku says, and I've been on a quest to restore them and return my best friend to life. You killed their creator? On accident? Well, I don't know how it happened, but the creator was Kami, and somehow he had an evil twin that I fought and killed. And that killed Kami. I do not doubt your words, Goku. But, I wonder, The only way it seems possible is if you're. Are you by chance a Super Saiyan? The Grand Elder asks. I've been called that before, but to be honest, I'm still not sure what that means, Goku says. I see. Come closer. Allow me to read the history of your planet, as well as your own, the Grand Elder says. Goku steps closer. The Grand Elder concentrates for a moment and gasps. I see, the Grand Elder says. So, it was the son of Katas after all. He was a child of incredible talent and power and purity of heart. A true prodigy. On Earth, he saw pain, suffering, and death, and slowly part of his heart grew corrupted. He sought to protect Earth, but do that, he had to expel his own evil. And from there, Piccolo was born. His intentions were good, but at what price? The Grand Elder says. The Piccolo you destroyed, that wasn't even a mere fraction of the potential the son of Katas had. If he were to somehow overcome that evil and regain his essence. Wow, so I guess Kami would be really strong? Goku asks. Grand Elder smiles. He's seen Goku's heart, he gets him. Now, for you, a child of two worlds. This power you have, it is indeed the power of a Super Saiyan, but somehow you achieve that power long before you should have. Even now, with as strong as you have become, Goku, that power should escape you. Truly, your friend meant much to you. Please, take this Dragon Ball, Guru says, handing the one-star Namekian Dragon Ball to Goku. Goku looks at it and is amazed by the size. You are nearing the end of your journey, Guru says. You must hurry. I am not long for this world, but I'm not quite done yet. I'll hold out as long as I can. Goku thanks Guru, but then the Grand Elder remembers. Oh yes, you asked me about what a Super Saiyan is. Goku returns, highly interested. Ages ago, during a time of great conflict, a powerful Saiyan found a way to ascend his power beyond that of any other Saiyan. It came at his time of greatest need, but just as soon as he appeared, the Super Saiyan disappeared, possibly destroyed by the great power, Guru says. It would seem you too have found this power, Son Goku, and you are wise not to fully use it. How you achieved it at that moment is something I cannot answer. However, I feel that very soon, you shall indeed become a true Super Saiyan. And your brother, your son, they may be able to achieve this power too. Send them to me, if you can, Son Goku, so that I may aid them, Guru says. Goku smiles. So, that's a Super Saiyan. You'll be able to make Raditz and Gohan into Super Saiyans too. That is a journey they'll need to complete on their own, but I can at least make the road a little smoother for them, Guru says. All right, if I get a chance, Grand Elder, I'll send them. Thanks for all your help, and just hang in there, Goku says. Nail shows him outside. The Grand Elder trusts you immensely. Earthling, Nail says. Be warned, there are others on Namek that seek the Dragon Balls. Yeah, one is called Vegeta. He's one of Frieza's men. The other, I'm not sure on, but he's almost as strong, Goku says. Two would go with you, but with this threat, I must protect the Grand Elder, Nail says. I understand. If something happens to him, then this whole thing is pointless. Anyway, thank you, Goku says, taking off. Zarbon arrives back at Frieza's spaceship with not only an unconscious Vegeta and Raditz, but also the two Dragon Balls the two were fighting over. Ah, very good, Zarbon, Frieza says, as the two bodies are being taken into the medical lab. I ask for Vegeta, and you bring me not only him, but two Dragon Balls and another piece of filthy monkey garbage. Who is this one? Frieza asks. It's either this Raditz or Kakarot. I'm not sure which, Zarbon says. Raditz, Raditz, Frieza says, struggling to remember. Was he that useless one on Vegeta's team? I believe so, sire, Zarbon says. Throw them both in a medical machine, Frieza says. Once they're revived, I intend to thoroughly interrogate both of them. Shall I have questions prepared for you, sire? Oh no, Zarbon. You forget. I have a way with people. And as Vegeta is soon going to learn from his unfortunate friend here, there's more than one way to skin a monkey. Understood, sire. Lord Frieza, about that large power level far to the south. Zarbon says. Yes, I've noticed it, Zarbon. What of it? Sire, it seems that leaving it unmolested would be dangerous, Zarbon says. Ah, But that is where I beg to differ, Zarbin. It was an astonishingly high power level. However, considering the distance, and considering if whoever it was had any knowledge or objections to our presence, he certainly would have made his intentions known when Dodoria and Vegeta were slaughtering the locals. Vegeta holds the last part of the mystery. 5 Dragon Balls are missing, and I need to know where he and Dodoria hid them. Dend and Gohan arrive back at the Capsule Corporation spaceship. Bulma runs out to greet them, giving Gohan a big hug, leading to a typical drawn-out mom. He shows off the damaged Dragon Radar, and while Bulma's a little upset, let's be honest, that thing is a memento from the first time she and Goku met. She will be able to fix it. In about a day or two, they head inside, and Bulma wonders where Raditz is. Gohan doesn't know, but he fills her in. So, with a day to spare, and nothing really for them to do, Bulma gives them a hot meal, and Dend and Gohan swap stories about their lives. Bulma thinks it's pretty awesome that her little boy is becoming friends with a Namekian, and she can't wait to tell Tights. Lord Frieza, Zarbin began. The Saiyan we recovered, Raditz, is healing faster than anticipated. We believe the interrogation can proceed momentarily. Excellent, Zarbin. Of course, that interrogation depends on when Vegeta is strong enough to at least watch, Frieza says. What about him? It's strange. We placed Vegeta in one of the newer machines, but he's healing far slower than Raditz, Zarbin says. Strange, Frieza says. Suddenly, there's an explosion. Vegeta, Zarbin says. In the medical bay, Vegeta quickly kills the 2 guards in the room, throwing one of them onto a station right by the pod that Raditz is in. Somehow, a switch is flipped, but Vegeta doesn't notice. He races at top speed through the ship, but stops when he sees Frieza and Zarbin. He's momentarily stunned, but quickly smiles and fires off 2 energy blasts at both of them. Not much power, but just enough to destroy their scouters. Frieza throws his now smoking and useless scouter on the ground in rage. Vegeta runs from them at top speed. Raditz's eyes open as he senses the commotion. The tank is draining, and he smiles. He stays put, closing his eyes. Vegeta, what are you doing? Don't you realize that Frieza will easily you're hiding your power level. There's another explosion. After him, you fool. Frieza yells at Zarbin, channeling his inner Cobra commander. In a panic, Zarbin flies out an exposed hull breach, with Frieza following. Vegeta laughs as he races into the main control room. He sees the 2 Dragon Balls he and Raditz fought over. There's no way I'm leaving these for Frieza or Raditz. But it'd only be a matter of time before Zarbin came skulking about. He doesn't know what he's in for, just like Dodoria. And Raditz, that idiot somehow ruined my plan, but not masking his recovery. Still, these Dragon Balls will slow me down. That's it. Vegeta sees the massive window. Another explosion will only let them home in. Well, I suppose I have to see just how strong I've gotten this time. Vegeta runs at the window and gives a flying kick, shattering it. He tosses the 2 Dragon Balls as far as he can, and flies out. He spots Raditz flying in the opposite direction. Good, you just run away and hide, Raditz. It's what you do best. I would love nothing more than to snap your neck for that humiliation, but right now I have 6 of the Dragon Balls. Once I have the last one, immortality will be mine. I just have to figure out who will be more fun to kill. You, Kakarot, or Frieza. Vegeta circles around, and then spots Zarbin, frantically searching for Vegeta. A little bit of time has passed at this point, so they're a good distance away from the ship. Vegeta smiles as he flies at full power towards Zarbin. Frieza stands in the control room, staring out the hole in his window. It is clear he is not in a good mood. Reporting is ordered, Lord Frieza, the Mook says. Frieza turns. What of the scouters? He yells. Well, Lord Frieza. It would appear that Vegeta was very meticulous with his escape. He somehow destroyed every scouter on the ship. How is this possible? We had a skeleton crew. Frieza raises his hand and fires a death beam right into the Mook's heart. Well, he's dead. Frieza goes to an intercom and yells into it. Captain Jinyu, you and your men are hereby ordered to report at maximum speed. Zarbin is caught completely off guard by Vegeta's attack and is sent flying straight towards the ground. He hits it hard. Vegeta lands, and Zarbin struggles to get up. Vegeta smiles. How? Zarbin calls out. You weren't that strong before. You really can't be that surprised, Zarbin. After all, it was the growing strength of the Saiyans that frightened him. You were there. Surely you realize that given another year, Frieza would have become just a ghost story. Zarbin stands. Your arrogance blinds you, Vegeta. Do you really think Frieza would so easily reveal his true power? Is that supposed to frighten me? I've seen true power, Zarbin, and once it's in my hands, well, I may not even need the Dragon Balls to deal with Frieza. You're bluffing, Zarbin says, but if it's power you're after, well. Zarbin transforms into his reptile monster form. Vegeta smiles and laughs. Oh, scary, Vegeta says. He holds up his hand. What? Zarbin says, surprised. I guess without scouters, there's no point holding back anymore, Vegeta says, his smile growing. He fires a massive blast, and that's it for Zarbin. He's luggage now. Vegeta gives his awesome, I am evil and planning something laugh, and flies off. Shoot, you busted this thing up more than I thought, Bulma says. It's clear she's been working through the night as Gohan emerges from his cabin. Did Dad or Uncle Raditz ever make it back? No, and I'm starting to get worried about it, at least with Raditz. I'm used to this with your father, Bulma says. Dend, who's been mediating all through the night, speaks up. Someone's coming this way. Gohan gasps and runs outside, still in his pajamas. He's ready to rumble at first, but smiles as he sees Raditz approach and land. Uncle Raditz, Gohan says. The boy is overjoyed to see his uncle safe. What happened, he asks. Little run-in with Vegeta and one of Frieza's lieutenants, Raditz says. You don't have those Dragon Balls, Gohan notices. It's a long story, but the good news is, neither does Frieza. How did you and the Namekian kid do? Well, Gohan starts. I kinda broke the dragon radar. What, how? Raditz asks. We ran into some purple guy, seemed as strong as Vegeta back on Earth. Gohan says. Raditz thinks for a moment. I think you mean Shui. I didn't get his name, Gohan says. Tell me, nephew, what happened then? Gohan's afraid to say. I mean, can you blame him? He killed a guy at age 5, and that's after growing up in the flowery world of luxury that is being Bulma's kid. He's really not mentally prepared for that shock. I see, Raditz says, piecing it together. Just remember, he would have killed you without any second thought, and Den too. Raditz smiles for a moment. He senses something. That's Kakarot. Hopefully he has some good news. Goku lands, and now everyone is completely happy. And for bonus points, he has a Dragon Ball. So, everyone shares their little adventure. Goku's happy to meet Dend, and he tells them about how great the Grand Elder is, and that Raditz and Gohan should probably go see him, saying that he can help. Dend asks to go along, since the Grand Elder and Nail are there, and he could probably help vouch for Gohan in case there's any lingering doubt from Nail and Guru, so they head off. Goku meanwhile get a typical Bulma as chewing for leaving her alone, but they quickly make up. Bulma questions the wisdom of sending Gohan and Raditz into another dangerous situation, but Goku points out that the only person on Namek that could threaten them is Frieza. Bulma then presents Goku with a literal banquet, kept fresh in capsule form, while she continues work on the Dragon Radar. Goku finishes up, and Bulma asks if she can see the Dragon Ball. He brings it over, and she smiles as she turns on the Dragon Radar. And there's a shock and a puff of smoke. Damn it, that's not fair, Bulma says. I made this damn thing when I was 16. How can it be broken? Well, can you fix it? Goku asks. I'd need my original schematics, and they're back on Earth, Bulma says. Goku stops and thinks for a moment. Well, we can't really leave Namek. Although I guess if we took the Dragon Ball with us, it would stop Frieza and Vegeta. The light bulb over Goku's head goes off. Wait, you can talk to Earth, right? Bulma gets it instantly. Oh, of course. She gives him a peck on the cheek. Well, I'm going to go work this meal off. It was great, Bulma, he says. Wait, what do you mean, work the meal off? Don't you have to go kill Vegeta? Nah, I'm not too worried about Vegeta anymore. If he shows up here, well, he's getting stronger, but not quite strong enough. I don't think he could take Raditz and Gohan together, either, Goku explains. Now that Frieza guy. Aren't you strong enough to fight him? Bulma yells. I don't know. I feel a lot of power coming from him. And the thing is, if that was it, Bulma, I think I could. It'd be close, though. But there's something else with him. Like Frieza's hiding his power, too. You mean he's stronger? I guess, I'm not sure. But with as strong as I am now, I don't think I can handle him. That's why I have to do this, Bulma, to protect you and Gohan. Otherwise, he'll just be able to kill us all, Goku says, heading towards the gravity chamber. Well, I may not like it, but fine. Goku smiles and does his little hee-hee laugh. How long will it take to fix? Goku asks, referring to the radar. Well, it shouldn't take too long once my dad can find the notes. Bulma says. How long that will take, on the other hand. Great. Let me know once you get it repaired. I gotta find out just what my real limit is. Goku says, heading into the gravity chamber. If it were anybody else, I'd call them crazy, but that's Goku, Bulma thinks. Vegeta sits, looking bored to death, as he guards the 6 Dragon Balls, having recovered the 2 he and Raditz initially fought over. He stands up, gasping in surprise. That power. That has to be Kakarot. How strong is he getting? Vegeta grinds his teeth. No, that's not Kakarot. That's someone else. Wait, could it be Raditz and Kakarot's brat? What the hell are they? A Dragon Ball. They have to have found the last Dragon Ball. Well, like hell I'm going to let low-class scum steal my wish. Vegeta stands and takes off. While en route to the Grand Elders, Raditz looks to Gohan. He smiles as he has an idea. Gohan, if we push ourselves, we can make this journey much faster, Raditz says. Isn't that dangerous? Vegeta might chase us down. Then I'll just have to beat him again. Besides, the sooner we're done here, the sooner we can get the Dragon Balls and get the hell off this planet. If we go all out, we can get there and back in less than half the time it took Kakarot, Raditz says. Here, I have a better idea. Grab onto my back, Gohan. Gohan does so. Good. Now you, little green guy. I'm sorry, I forgot your name. Den says. Right, come here, hold onto my chest. Den does so. Raditz smiles as he flies off at full power, the 2 kids hanging on for dear life. In the gravity training room, Goku is giving it his all. He's up to 100 G, but is nearing the point of his limits. He falls to one knee and is forced to crawl to deactivate the machine. As it does so, he grabs a Senzu bean and hops up, completely refreshed. He takes a deep breath and smiles. He throws a few punches and is amazed at the speed. Whoa, he says. Man, if this is how fast I've become, I'm almost afraid to hit someone. And I'm not even using Super Saiyan. Goku grabs the bag of Senzu and exits the room. He sees Bulma preparing a meal. He sniffs the air and smiles. Wow, smells great, Goku says. Bulma is startled and drops a carving knife and her mouth goes wide as she sees Goku standing in front of her, having caught the knife. But, you were just over there, Bulma says, astonished. Goku does the classic head scratch. Yeah, I'm amazed too. I'd hug you, Bulma. But I'm afraid I'd have to ask Shenron to bring you back too. Bulma smiles. Did you really get that much stronger? I think so, and it's not just strength or speed. Everything seems, I don't know, so much more in tune, you know? Oh, I've heard about stuff like that, Bulma says acceptingly. Then she realizes something. Wait, how out of tune were you before? Goku shrugs and smiles. I'll be outside. I need to get used to this, Goku says. Raditz and company land at the Grand Elder's place, and they give Nail the hole. Oh hi. Yes, we're friends of Kakarot's. He says your guy can do some cool stuff. So, Nail lets him in. Guru gives the 2 Saiyans some nice exposition about how much stronger they're gonna be, etc., and unlocks their potential. Now, there seems to be a few discussions concerning that ability, just what it does. For the purpose of this narrative, I'm going to follow the example more or less set by the anime, where it happens, and then it's largely forgotten about. In terms of what this means for Gohan and Raditz, their power level is gradually rising involuntarily. Their bodies are basically catching up. It'll peak eventually, but it's not going to be an end-all be-all. So, as Raditz is unlocked, he steps outside while the Grand Elder does likewise with Gohan. It's then Raditz realizes something amiss. Vegeta, he says, flying off to intercept him. The two meet, and Vegeta is not pleased at all to see Raditz again. This is becoming an annoying habit that I shall soon end, Vegeta says, getting ready to attack Raditz. Raditz just watches him, but remains on guard. Vegeta stops and looks over to the mountain and sees the Grand Elder's house. Is that where Kakarot's whelp is hiding out? Too afraid to get a bloody nose. And you, the brave uncle ready to fight off the monsters? It's sickening. That child should be completely fearless, especially after what he did to Nappa, Vegeta says. He can handle himself just fine, Vegeta. Have you seen Chui lately? Raditz says. I just have to buy enough time for Gohan. But then, Raditz looks away. He can sense something. Vegeta senses it too, but sees that Raditz has dropped his guard. He fires an energy blast into him. And while Raditz isn't killed or gravely wounded, he has lost a bit of luster, allowing Vegeta to slip by and reach the Grand Elder's house, where he's greeted by Nail. You are not welcome here, Nail says. What's in there? Vegeta asks. Is it a Dragon Ball? I told you to leave, Nail says. Suddenly, both look at the house with surprise. What the hell? Vegeta says. He sees Gohan exit. At first, Gohan doesn't notice him, amazed at the raw energy he's feeling. To be fair, he is 5. He notices Vegeta, and suddenly, Gohan mad. Vegeta smiles as he sees the power coming off of Gohan. Yes, this is a true Saiyan. But then, all three now notice the much closer power closing in on Namek. Is that my dad? Gohan asks. Din runs out, warning them that some serious shit is about to go on. At that point, Raditz lands. There are 5 of them, Nail says, each full of malice, and each one powerful. The Ginyu Force, Raditz says. Who? Gohan asks. There's no choice now. Give me the Dragon Ball so I can get my wish, and I'll let all of you live. And why would we do that, Vegeta? You'd be just as bad or worse than Frieza. Besides, are you forgetting about Kakarot? So he is here, Vegeta thinks. If Kakarot is on this worthless planet, then where the hell is he? Raditz smiles. He may be right, Nail says. What? Raditz says. Those 5, they're hostile. Then why not wish for the child or myself, or even Kakarot to become immortal? He has no tactical experience, and neither of you have the savage instinct needed to deal with them. I'd sooner face them alone than waste our one wish on you, Raditz says. You get more than one, Nail says, 3 to be precise. Surely you can find some way to accomplish your mission with 2 extra wishes. There you see, everyone wins, but only if you give me the damn Dragon Ball. He's actually panicking. Raditz says, I've never seen Vegeta this startled. And this, even knowing Kakarot, is on Namek. Raditz's rage is building. He can't believe he's going to have to put with this. Then let's get to it, Raditz says. They fly off. Frieza smiles as he watches the Ginyu Force land. And we get the whole Ginyu Force pose Super Sentai shtick. Pleasantries are exchanged, and Ginyu is filled in. Vegeta's stolen the Dragon Balls, and he needs him to bring in Vegeta alive. Ginyu laughs, plays with his scouter, says something to the effect of, and I'm paraphrasing here, oh look, it's Vegeta and 2 other guys that seem pretty strong heading somewhere. Probably where the Dragon Balls are. Geese presents Frieza with the new scouter, and the Ginyu Force heads off to take care of the 3 Saiyans. Toka Sentai. Toka Sentai. Goku grabs the repaired dragon radar from Bulma, gives her a kiss. This is it, Bulma, the moment of truth, Goku says. Goku, what do you mean? Bulma says, a bit concerned about her husband's statement. It's time to see if all that training's paid off. You don't sound so sure, Bulma says. Goku smiles. To be completely honest, I'm not, he says, grabbing her arms. He looks into her eyes, and gets a bit serious. Now listen, things may get dangerous. If it's too much, I'll send Gohan and Raditz back. Don't worry about the Dragon Balls or me. If that happens, you fly to Earth and you tell those 2 to train like they've never trained before. Because if it comes to back, Frieza's going to be on his way, Goku says. And then, they'll be everyone's final hope. But what about the Dragon Balls? She asks. It won't matter. The Grand Elder, he's kind of like Namex Kami, has his life force tied to the Dragon Balls too. He knows his time is running out. Naturally. Believe me, I haven't come this far to bring back Krillin and the others only to fail so close to the finish line. I have to do this, Bulma. For all of them. I love you, he says, and in my mind, at least, in a direct reference to the second episode of Dragon Ball, they kissed the same way the couple on the soap opera Bulma put on did. I mean, it was the first time Goku had even seen a TV, and he had literally just met Bulma, so kind of fitting, considering the circumstances. Before he leaves, he grabs the dragon radar and is happy to see that 6 of them are all together. He grabs the 1-star Dragon Ball in a decent-sized sack Bulma found / made that can carry all 7, as well as the sins of beans, and heads out. Goku decides that he'll help deal with the Ginyu Force, but has a moment of clarity. They probably have scouters, so they'll know that Goku is the biggest threat. So of course, he'll mask his energy. Problem is, it'll delay his arrival. Well, if he's too late, he can always deal with everyone, bring the dead back with the Dragon Balls. That's part of the plan anyway, right? The Ginyus encounter Vegeta, and Ginyu cordially asks for him for the Dragon Balls. If he gives them up, he'll even lie to Frieza for him and let him and his friends leave. Come to think of it, Ginyu does seem to have the most honor of all of Frieza's lackeys. Naturally, Vegeta refuses. Ginyu shrugs and tells Rikum, Jis and Berter to figure out how they want to do this, but don't kill Vegeta, and like before, Rikum gets to fight Vegeta, while Jis and Berter getting the other 2. Rikum even says that Gohan and Raditz can fight him at the same time, leading to protests from both Jis and Berter. So, the fight between Vegeta and Rikum begins, with Vegeta powering up as much as possible and taking the battle to the massive Space Ginger. And to be fair, it's a damn fine showing, with Raditz and Gohan amazed and seeing just what Vegeta is capable of, and by extensions, themselves and Goku. The battle is basically a recreation of the one from the anime, with Raditz and Gohan watching from the sidelines. Gohan asks why they don't help, and Raditz says it's not sure if they should. Vegeta's doing fine, and if Rikum wins, then that's Vegeta dealt with, and then they just have to run and find Goku. So, Vegeta fires off a massive energy blast that's totally not the final flash. They think Rikum is toast, but to the horror, they feel Rikum's energy. The dust clears, and there Rikum stands, albeit with his armor destroyed. Rikum decides it's time to play for real, and the Rikum ass-kicking clinic is on. Raditz and Gohan continue watching as Rikum delivers a massive power bomb onto Vegeta. Vegeta's down, but he blasts Rikum away with another energy blast. Is Rikum dead? Nope. He flips right back up. Raditz sighs while Gohan is frightened. I'm not allowed to kill you, Vegeta, but if you have anything else you want to try, go right ahead. Vegeta basically thinks he's screwed. Raditz pulls Gohan aside. Listen, if this is Vegeta's best, we're in trouble, Raditz says. Get ready and follow my lead. Right, Gohan says. Rikum fires off the Rikum eraser gun, but Raditz fixes that with a blow Rikum's head from behind, while Gohan knocks Vegeta out of the way. And once again, Rikum stands, except now he's down a few teeth. He asks Jis and Berter if he can fight them, and they agree, in exchange for Desert. Rikum approaches Raditz and delivers off a Rikum kick. Raditz quickly dodges, and the two begin to duke it out. This time it's much more evenly matched, and once Gohan joins in, things begin to go south for Rikum. However, his sheer battle experience shows when he manages to knock Raditz away. Rikum then grabs Gohan and drives him down hard with a textbook backbreaker. No, Raditz yells. Gohan's not moving at all, except for some shallow breaths. Rikum is laughing, and so are the other 4 members of the Ginyu Force. Something is boiling deep inside Raditz. Is he realizing the legend? Well, no, actually, as he finds out as he charges Rikum in a fit of pure anger. One Rikum kick later, and now Raditz is out of it. Thankfully, Goku arrives. He ignores the Ginyu Force at first and attends to Gohan, feeding the poor kid a senzu bean. He basically had his spine crushed by Rikum. To the surprise of the Ginyu Force, Gohan's back up like nothing happened. He warns his father about how dangerous the Ginyu Force is, and that the big guy alone was able to do all this. Raditz gets a Senzu bean as well. Well, it took you long enough, Raditz says. I'm assuming you're going to want to hog all the glory? Well, first, why is Vegeta fighting with you? Goku asks. It turns out, Raditz says. Wait, 1 second, Goku says. He places his hand on Raditz's head and focuses. Ah, that's it, Goku says. That's what? Raditz asks. Goku smiles. I saw everything. Vegeta's fear about these guys, but also how strong you're all getting. You know, he's still nasty, but Goku says. He reaches into the bag with the Senzu beans. Kakarot, what are you doing? Raditz says as he has a realization. Hey Vegeta, catch. Goku yells. He tosses him the Senzu bean. Vegeta catches it and studies it. This must be that same medicine that Kakarot gave to Nappa after the whelp destroyed him. Vegeta says. Remembering Nappa, he snarls and eats it and feels his strength return. Are you crazy? Raditz asks. Do you have any idea how valuable those are? How many are left? It was the last one, Goku says. Look, I have my reasons. I want to have a rematch with Vegeta. I think you can appreciate that, Goku says. But first, I'm going to deal with these Jinyu guys, Goku says. He sets the bag with the Dragon Ball down and approaches Rikum. Jinyu pulls Guldo aside and asks him to grab that bag. And before the trash talking between Rikum and Goku can commence, Guldo manages to sneak the bag away. Goku did set it down a bit away from Gohan, and everybody is focusing on Goku and Rikum. The Saiyans are surprised by this. Jinyu takes a look into the bag and yells for Berter and Geese to get over there. Geese examines the dragon radar and quickly figures out what it's for. Jinyu smiles and gives the bag and radar to Berter, telling him to go get the other Dragon Balls. Berter does so at top speed. Vegeta doesn't bother to pursue. He can't believe what he's seeing, and he's extremely curious to see just how strong Goku has become. Rikum prepares to fire the Ultra Fighting Bomber and takes a solid punch right in the gut. He's down for the count. At this point, Berter has returned, while Jinyu and Guldo head back to Frieza's ship. Berter decides to step in after he and Geese dismiss Goku's power. They decided to double-team him, and it doesn't go well at all for them. Goku's just blocking, but eventually gives them an ultimatum. Leave, or he'll start fighting back. They ignore this, and for his trouble Berter takes a kick to the chest. Goku gives his typical, hey I just hooped your friend's ass, so you might want to leave speech to Geese, but Geese retreats. Nice team, he just left his friends here, Goku says. Kakarot, that was incredible, Raditz says. Vegeta takes the opportunity to jump down and blast Berter and Rikum, sending them to an eternity of teddy bear parades. They got what they deserved, Kakarot. Don't you realize what is happening to you? You are on the cusp of ultimate power, but you don't have any idea what to do with it. You will never beat Frieza with that kind of thinking. You're no Super Saiyan. Goku's had enough. Look, Vegeta, I don't think I can get much stronger. I've come a long way, but you sound so sure that I won't stand a chance. You saw with your own eyes how Kakarot handled those two, and he wasn't even showing off. He held back, Raditz says. And because of that, Frieza is going to know just what Kakarot might be capable of and decide to finish off our entire race for good, Vegeta says. The only option is to wish for me to become immortal and dash. Will you please shut up about that, Vegeta? Raditz says. In spite of what you might think, the only way you're getting your wish is if Kakarot allows it. And I really don't see that happening. Raditz smiles. Oh yeah, the wish, Goku says. He starts looking for the sack. Where is it? What are you looking for? Raditz says. When I got here, I brought along the Dragon Radar and the Dragon Ball the Grand Elder gave me. I set it down near Gohan. Dragon Radar, what the hell is that? Kakarot, do you mean to tell me you have a device that can locate these things? Vegeta asks. Goku does the head scratch thing. Why the hell didn't you get the Dragon Balls to begin with to make your wish? Those guys were pretty strong, Vegeta, and they were fighting my son and my brother. But what happened? Where could it have gone? Raditz asks. Vegeta's silent, but then something occurs to him. Guldo, he says. Huh? What's a Guldo? Goku asks. That fat little blob on the Jinyu force. In a straight-up fight, there'd be no contest. You were strong enough to fight him on Earth, Kakarot, without resorting to your little tricks. But there are stories that the little green spud has ridiculous psychic powers. He probably would have slipped in and grabbed it without anyone noticing, Vegeta says. Right, hey, that makes sense. And since the dragon radar was in there, they could have just gone off while all the fighting was going on. So, it looks like we just ran out of luck, Kakarot. Frieza isn't going to let those Dragon Balls out of his sight, Vegeta says. If you had any brains left, you'd flee. What? Raditz says. No, he's right, Goku says. There's no way any of you can hope to stand up against Frieza. I can feel his power, it's intense. But I can't just let him get the Dragon Balls. Goku is getting angry. He closes his eyes and clenches a fist. Gohan, Raditz, get back to the ship. I want you to head home, and I need you to train like you've never trained before, Goku says. Kakarot, are you giving up? Raditz yells. No, but I know this. It hasn't gone dark yet, Goku says. What the hell does that have to do with anything, Kakarot? This planet has 3 suns, Vegeta says. I know, but on Earth, whenever we use the Dragon Balls, it goes dark, like it's night. Then Shinron comes out, and he grants your wish. I haven't seen that happen yet, and I think I know why. Shinron, Vegeta asks. Goku smiles. The dragon, I guess it's how the Dragon Balls got their name. Anyway, I'm willing to bet Frieza doesn't know how to summon this Shinron. I don't either, but still, time's against us. The Grand Elder is dying. He made the Dragon Balls, Vegeta, and if he dies, well, the Dragon Balls dies with him. Then what are you waiting for? Vegeta asks. I just want to make sure my family is safe. If it's true that I can't beat Frieza, then once those Dragon Balls stop working, he's going to be pretty mad. And he's probably going to want to take it out on us for ruining those plans. If I can't beat Frieza, I can at least try to buy everyone some time, Goku says. So leave with them, train, and then deal with Frieza when he arrives on Earth. Vegeta yells. I told you, I don't think I can get any stronger, Goku says. Raditz, Gohan, please, leave now, we're wasting time. He gives his family a hug, and the two fly off. Back at the Grand Elder's place, Guru announces that time's almost up and that the Earthlings have proven their worth. He unlocks Den's power and tells him to go find them and give them the password. He then tells Nail to go get in on the fun, but Nail is pretty stubborn, sensing something foreboding to come, and that he has to stay with him until the end. Guru smiles, notes the defiance, and thanks Nail for his dedication. Frieza stands outside his ship, admiring the Dragon Balls and commending Jinyu on a job well done. He then looks to the Dragon Balls and commands them to grant him immortality. And nothing happens. Did it work? Jinyu asks. Nothing happened. I don't think it did, Frieza says. But why? Frieza stops and paces, then it hits him. Think, Jinyu. You are a race of people that have artifacts that can grant seemingly any wish. Would you let men like us just step in and take them? Well, no, Lord Frieza, of course not. Exactly. What these Namekians lacked in resistance they made up for in a genius failsafe. There must be some kind of ritual or password needed to activate them, Frieza says. But how can we? Frieza says nothing as he turns on his scouter. Ah, there's Vegeta and the others there. 2 readings, they have to be Namekians. Stay here and watch these Dragon Balls, Jinyu. I will see to this matter personally, Frieza says. He hops in his little hover chair, and off he goes. Raditz and Gohan, having fled at full power, and with those Zenkai boosts, I imagine they're beyond most of the Jinyu force at this point, arrive back at the Capsule Corp spaceship. Raditz explains the situation, and while Bulma is heartbroken that she has to leave her beloved husband behind, she accepts it, stating that if Frieza shows up, Raditz and Gohan better kick his ass. Just as the engines fire and they're about to take off, as Gohan cries and Raditz says farewell to his brother, Bulma get a genius idea. She shuts down the engine and unbuckles her harness. Why didn't I just think of that before? She sees us, sitting down at a computer. Bulma, what are you doing? Raditz asks. Remember how the Dragon radar was broken? Well, when I fixed it, thanks to those scouters, I made a little modification to it, she says, and pushing a few buttons on the keyboard, a crude grid appears on her screen, much like the dragon radars. It's showing the location of all 7 Dragon Balls. My brother married a genius, Raditz says. This means we know exactly where they are. How far away is that? Bulma explains the distance, because like hell I'm figuring that out with no canon map of Namek, and Raditz realizes that's right outside Frieza's ship. Come on, Gohan. Kakarot will be keeping Frieza busy. We can grab these right out from under him. But my dad told us to leave. Raditz smiles. I'm guessing Kakarot didn't know about this, and if you did tell him, it went right over his head? Goku's never really been one for technology. Hell, the first time I met him, he didn't know what anything was. He was basically a hermit, she says. Uncle Raditz? Gohan asks, not sure what to make of this. Come on, Gohan, this isn't through yet. And with a renewed sense of hope, the two head for Frieza's ship. Back at Frieza's ship, while Jinyu and Guldo supervise the Jinyu Auxiliary Force, basically their support staff. Seriously, these guys confused me in the anime. More on that in the afterthought. Jis arrives with bad news. Berter and Rikum are dead, and that the new guy really isn't someone they should mess with. Angered over the loss of 2 members of his force, he, Guldo, and Jis head off to find Goku and Vegeta to get their revenge. Goku looks into the distance, trying to sense energy. His face shows one of concern. We can't waste any more time. Frieza has almost reached the Grand Elder. I don't know how long he'll be able to hold out. Goku says. And just then, Jis, Jinyu, and Guldo land. So, the one in orange caused all the problems, huh? Jinyu asks Jis. He examines his scouter. Strange, it says 5,000. That's just it, sir. How can someone like that take out Rikum? Jis asks. It's simple, really. He's an experienced warrior and is simply hiding his power level. It's quite shrewd, actually, Jinyu explains. At least this should prove to be a fun and interesting fight, Jinyu says, smiling. Goku smiles as well. What do you say, Vegeta? I'll take the big one. You take the other 2? You should strong enough to hold your own. Captain, where are the other 2? Guldo asks. They're nobody, Jinyu says. Vegeta steps forward and smiles. If these 3 clowns are here, then there's nobody watching Frieza's ship, he thinks. He takes off. Have fun, Kakarot. Goku watches in disbelief as Vegeta flies away, allowing Jinyu to get in a preemptive attack. The battle is on, and they're completely evenly matched. Jis and Guldo offer to step in, but Jinyu refuses. It's rare that someone forces Captain Jinyu to fight at full strength. Vegeta, meanwhile, has come up with his own sinister plan. Grab the Dragon Balls, and that Dragon Radar, since that can cause problems, and basically beat the password out of someone. He hasn't figured out that part, but there has to be a Namekian he missed, right? The battle between Jinyu and Goku continues, and Jinyu is starting to grow frustrated and just how Goku is able to keep up with him. You're actually pretty good, Jinyu says, smiling. If Vegeta stayed, you might cause me some real problems. The battle resumes and intensifies. Jinyu and Goku do the goofy pose thing, until Goku says, look, I don't have much time. Jinyu's taken back by this. What? You want it to be over? That's too bad. I'm really enjoying this. Fine, if it'll make you feel better, Jinyu says, and starts powering up. This power level is 120,000. You're good. I'd say that power you're holding back is capped at 80,000. If I didn't know better, I'd ask you to join us, Jinyu says. I could say the same for you. You can't be all bad. You do like a fair fight. And it's true. I am holding back my power, but if you want to see what I can do in short bursts, Goku says, smiling. I would love to see that, Jinyu says. Just don't be mad, okay? Goku says. Nail approaches the Grand Elder. He will be here momentarily, Nail says. The Grand Elder nods. I only hope that Din reaches the Earthlings in time. Nail, you must buy them as much time as possible. Nail nods and steps outside. Frieza lands and is acting rather cordial. State your business, Nail says. And we get the whole exchange between them, and they agree to fight, away from the Grand Elder, of course, since that won't serve either of their needs if something happens. Goku smiles at Jinyu. You're gonna love this, he says, and assumes the pose. He yells as he energy grows. All three members of the Jinyu Force watch in terrified awe. Jinyu can't believe the incredible amount of power, and it's still rising. What is this? Jinyu yells. This is impossible. It simply can't be. Goku stands with a confident smile, now in his Super Saiyan form. This may scare them, but I'm not sure how long I can maintain this. I haven't had to resort to this since I fought Vegeta on Earth. Time to see what we can do. He flies at Jinyu, who quickly gets out of the way. No, there's no way you can bet that fast. You're stronger than even Lord Frieza. Jeez, Guldo, give me hand. The other two members of the Jinyu Force join in, and like before, Goku isn't attacked, just dodging and blocking. He drops out of Super Saiyan and steps away. Well, I guess I'm a lot stronger than I thought. Now, please, just walk away. I'm getting tired of asking. You just want to give up and leave. I don't care how strong you are, the Jinyu Force never retreats. Guldo, help me out. Jinyu commands. Guldo uses his telekinetic abilities to stop Goku. Goku's frustrated by the lack of movement, but is slowly able to begin to overcome it. No, that's impossible. Guldo says, my psychic powers are next to none. Do it now, Captain. Jees yells out. Damn it. He's planning something big. I better get ready as best as I can. Goku thinks. Jinyu smiles as he clenches his fist and rips into his own chest. He winces in pain but chuckles. You might even be a Super Saiyan. And with that body, Jinyu says. He takes off his scouter and tosses it at Jees. Huh, Goku says, trying to struggle against the Guldo's telekinesis. He's almost able to move at a normal rate, meaning he could probably walk if he tried hard enough, that degree of motion. What are you talking about? Jinyu grins. Change now. Vegeta hovers over the men that Jinyu left to guard the ship. He smiles. Well, looks like Frieza went out for a stroll after all. He fires off a frenzy of blasts, each one hitting a mook. He laughs and lands, examining the empty ship. Jinyu and the others must have put the Dragon Balls around here somewhere. Damn it, where is that stupid locator thing? They have to come back sooner or later, and I should be long gone by the time Frieza is finished with whatever he's doing. But that power earlier, Kakarot must have been trying to show off his Super Saiyan form. But what I don't understand is while I can't sense Kakarot or Jinyu, I can still sense the other two. Maybe they destroyed each other. If that's the case, then taking out Jees and Guldo should be a trivial task. Then it's a matter of just finding the Dragon Balls. Vegeta takes the moment to slip into a fresh set of clothes and armor, lamenting they only have the basic model of armor. Ironic, really. A variation of this one becomes his main outfit. Raditz and Gohan arrive at Frieza's ship and hover over it. I can't sense anything, Gohan says. Do you think they're on the ship? Raditz looks everything over. No, with everything that's happened, they just wouldn't leave them exposed like that. I still can't believe Frieza had the arrogance to just keep them here. He looks around and sees the dirt patches among the Namekian grass. Gohan, check the dirt. They probably buried them. Both Saiyans fly down and begin digging. Meanwhile, Vegeta gets drawn out by the commotion, but he stays out of sight. Vegeta cannot believe what he's seeing. Raditz and Gohan just digging away. What are they doing here? Kakarot told them leave. Are they digging? Damn it, why didn't that occur to me? We're going back to Goku and Jinyu. Now, Goku GF equals Goku in Jinyu's body. GF equals Jinyu Force. Jinyu TS means Jinyu, Turtle School, the Jinyu in Goku's body. Here we go. So, Goku GF is completely confused by what has just happened. He sees himself looking right at himself. What, he says. Wait, that's not my voice. What the hell did this guy do? Suddenly, he feels it. The wound that Captain Jinyu gave to himself. Shoot, that's why he did it. I gotta hand it to him. That's one nifty trick. Jinyu TS, on the other hand, is ecstatic about his new body. Jees and Guldo cheer and compliment him. Jees hands him the scouter, and the Jinyu Force heads back to Frieza's ship. Damn it, this body, I'm not used to it all. I can't even sense energy. Suddenly, Goku GF has a terrible realization. I don't care if this body's weak. I have to stop them. I just hope everyone was able to get off Namek safely. Goku GF pauses. I think they went this way, he says, clumsily giving pursuit. Uncle Raditz, Gohan yells. I think I found something. Gohan digs a little bit more and smiles. It's a Dragon Ball. Vegeta keeps his position hidden behind one of the landing struts of Frieza's ship. Raditz heads over to Gohan and smiles. Finally, it's over. Keep digging, Gohan. The sooner this is over with, the sooner we can get the hell out of here. Together, they recover all 7 Namekian Dragon Balls, as well as the Dragon Radar. Okay, kid, do you know how this happened on Earth? Mom told me the story a lot. I think it was. Gohan stands and smiles. Eternal Dragon, by your name, I summon you forth, Shenron. This is it, Vegeta thinks. And nothing happens. The dragon is supposed to come forth, right? Raditz asks. That's what Mom and Dad said. Gohan looks up. You feel that? Yeah. Quick, Gohan, hide. Mask your power. Wonderful, this is just what I need. Vegeta thinks. The Ginyu Force lands. Gohan sees them and runs out. Dad, Raditz follows. Ginyu TS looks at the uncovered Dragon Balls and acts cold towards them. So, you didn't make the wish yet, he says. No, that's the troubling thing, Kakarot, Raditz says. Geese mouths Kakarot to Guldo, who shrugs. We tried the password, but nothing happened. A password, eh? Ginyu TS says. Dad, those 2 guys, did they join you? Gohan asks. Something is amiss. Whatever you say, kid, Ginyu TS says. You had me worried for a moment. Raditz also catches on to. Worried? Kakarot, what are you talking about? This is why we came to this planet. He takes a closer look at Ginyu TS. Why are you wearing a scouter? Uncle Raditz, it's not Dad. Gohan yells. Ginyu TS gives an evil laugh. You see right through me, kid. This body is much stronger than my old, so I traded in the old one for an upgrade. Raditz can't believe what he just heard. You what? He yells. Amazingly, Vegeta thinks the same thing. Ginyu TS charges the 2, and both Gohan and Raditz do what they can to avoid his attacks. They really don't want a piece of Ginyu in Goku's body. Geese yells that someone else is approaching, and it's Goku GF. Ginyu TS looks at him. Well, it's always nice to see an old face, he says. Gohan, Raditz, listen. He changed bodies with me. It's really Ginyu. But listen, the body change isn't perfect. If you work together, you can stop him. Is he serious? Gohan says. You must be one sick freak if you want to see your own kid did like that, Ginyu TS says. Give him everything you got, trust me. Goku GF yells. Did you forget how strong this body is? This is the body of a Super Saiyan. I guess there's only one way to find out. See, just because you're in my body doesn't mean you know how to use it. Forget about trying to become a Super Saiyan. Well, I guess I just have to oblige you then. Jeez, Ginyu TS yells. He assumes the pose and gives it everything he can. Behold, the power of the legendary Super Ginyu. Ginyu TS says, taking an extra slice of ham. Jeez, what's the power level? Captain, it says 23,000. Ginyu TS laughs. You hear that? A power level of 23,000. There's no way you can. Wait, what? That's what the scouter says, Captain, Geese says. I'm reading the same thing, Captain, Guldo confirms. 23,000. Raditz yells. There's no way that can be right. They must be broken. Ginyu TS yells. Goku GF smiles. I told you it may be a strong body, but to use its full potential you have to train. You don't have any idea what you're doing. Gohan, Raditz, show him what I mean. Raditz looks at Gohan, then to Goku GF, then to Ginyu TS. Well, if you say so, Kakarot. Raditz pulls back and delivers a perfect punch to Ginyu TS. Ginyu TS is down. Hey, what are you trying to do, kill me? Ginyu TS says. It's true, Gohan. I know we're stronger, but there's no way Kakarot would fall from a blow like that. And the battle begins. Gohan is hesitant to attack Ginyu TS, which creates enough of an opening for Ginyu TS to attack. What are you doing? Raditz yells as Gohan flies out of the way. I can't. It's my dad, Gohan says. Look, it's not your dad. Just remember that, okay? Right, Gohan says. And together they prove to be more than a match for Ginyu TS. Guldo Jeez. Did you forget this was a death match? Get up here and defend your captain. On it, Captain, Guldo says. He holds out his arms and has his head promptly and quite literally knocked off by Vegeta, finally deciding to enter the fight. Going somewhere? Vegeta asks. Jeez turns around, and to his surprise, he sees the Saiyan Prince. V Vegeta. How? My scouter didn't show anything. Jeez says, completely scared. Vegeta chuckles. You idiots should have learned with Kakarot not to rely on those useless toys, Vegeta says. Jeez tries to attack, but Vegeta counters. He's holding Jeez by the arm. Now, what does your precious scouter say now? Vegeta says, as he begins powering up. There's no way this can be right. You were only at 36,000 less than an hour ago. Jeez says. It's a little evolutionary trick we Saiyans learned. Whatever doesn't kill us makes us stronger. But that means... Vegeta holds his hand out. It means exactly what you think. Please no. Jeez yells out. Don't do it, Vegeta. Goku GF yells. And with that, he fires the totally not Big Bang attack, and Jeez is now dead. Vegeta no. Vegeta yes. You see what mercy gets you, Kakarot? You're holding yourself back. Meanwhile, Raditz and Gohan are taking it to Jinyu TS. Vegeta takes a moment to watch the fight. So, those two are still screwing around with Jinyu. I guess if you want something done right, you have to do it yourself. Vegeta flies and attacks Jinyu TS at full power. Jinyu TS curses him as he falls to the ground. Don't do it, Vegeta. Goku GF yells. Jinyu TS smiles as Vegeta homes in for the kill. Oh no, Goku GF says. Change. Jinyu TS says. Now's my chance. Goku GF thinks. Now, Jinyu TS yells. And Goku GF gets between the beam and Vegeta, swapping bodies out. And everyone is confused at what just happened, except the author, who no longer has to type that stupid Jinyu TS and Goku GF stuff again. And things with Jinyu and Vegeta play out roughly the same, with Jinyu ending up in the body of a frog, with Vegeta showing mercy only because he likes the idea of the Jinyu frog. Raditz and Gohan help Goku up. Tell me, Kakarot, do you still have a Sesnu? Goku weakly semiless. Nah, you guys got the last ones. Raditz glares angrily at Vegeta, and he had to the last one to that bastard. Vegeta laughs. So, I suppose if I wanted to kill you, Kakarot, there's nothing you could do about it right now. Did you forget how our last battle went, Vegeta? Raditz says. Easy, Raditz. He's not going to do anything, Goku says. At least not yet. You don't mean? Raditz says.